lingered in foster care for years, longing for a permanent place to call home. They lost hope.
I felt alone in the world. I didn't feel loved. Every day felt like a lost cause. I thought, who would want to adopt an older child?
I thought, I'm going to end up on the streets. That's just how it's going to be.
Thankfully, Corey and Zach's journey changed when they were adopted with help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption.
It's really difficult to wonder how you're going to make it. I'm not going to have that problem now. I just won't. Because I have a family.
Today, Corey and Zach have bright futures. But every year, thousands of youth age out of foster care with no permanent family and no safety net. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
This is a St. Jude moment.
Braxton was diagnosed with choroid plexus carcinoma, which is a brain tumor. We have an amazing team that fights for the best outcome for Braxton. Being part of the research makes us feel like we're doing our take. So if we can put our little piece of the puzzle in it, I would do it over and over again. Because I don't want another family to have to go through what we're going through. Seeing the research team keep going all night makes me relieved. I was up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I saw a meeting going on. And I was like, oh my god, no one sleeps here? Which is fantastic because they are literally trying to find a cure 24 hours a day. They're not willing to give up.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
And Bonds hits one high. Hits it deep. It is out of here. Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker.
It's time to get up and get your day started. It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable!
Here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
Greetings and salutations, everybody. Good morning. Welcome into the Tuesday, June 14th, 2022 edition of Sports 56 Mornings, live and in color from the Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, it's located at 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. Their vacation at home sale continues. They got hot tubs in stock and ready to go. Check this out, up to $1,000 off when you pick it up yourself. So you're going to save money if you could do it yourself. Then go ahead and take advantage of that. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd with you here on this hot Tuesday morning. May not be as hot as yesterday. It's going to be hot, though. But we don't have the warnings. There has not been the oppressive heat warning issued like it did yesterday. But it was so hot yesterday, and being out in the sun a little bit, man, I slept like a baby last night. Hope your Tuesday morning's off to a great start. Here's what you're looking at weather-wise. Currently at 7 o'clock. It's 79 degrees. The projected high, similar to yesterday, up in the upper 90s, probably around 97, 98. The difference between today and yesterday, a little bit lower humidity, and that's why you don't have that warning out. But the rest of the week, oppressively hot again, including triple figures projection is the projection on Friday. So looking at maybe getting to that triple-digit mark. Be careful as you get ready to head on out today. If you do head on out, make sure you dress accordingly. We got a lot coming up on the program today. Memphis basketball. We figured there'd be some news yesterday. A little bit of that news was extremely surprising. The other bit of that news was disappointing. We will discuss that on the program today. Taylor Jenkins gets a new multi-year contract extension. We will discuss that. We'll talk NBA Finals. After the Warriors came out to play last night, they beat Boston by 10 and now lead the series 3-2. But I think it's still far from over. Connor O'Gara joins us at 7:25, senior national correspondent for Saturday Down South and Saturday Tradition. Mike Bianco, the Ole Miss baseball coach, will be with us at 8:05. The Rebels headed to Omaha and the College Baseball World Series, which will feature 4 SEC schools of the 8 and all 4 from the SEC West. How about that craziness? This week is the U.S. Open Golf Tournament from Brookline, Massachusetts, and our good buddy Steve Sands from the Golf Channel on NBC. He'll join us at 9:05. We got Humdinger's Trivia coming your way right before Mike joins us at the top of the second hour, and then 5 favorite things topic. We'll let you know what we're going to do for tomorrow's 5 favorite things. That is one packed show, and we always invite you to be a part of the program by calling in or texting in on the AutoZone listener lines. Get in the zone. AutoZone, 901-360-8255. Or if you're watching us live, good morning to you. You can hit us up with a message, comment, question, concern on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, so many different social media platforms to talk with us if you'd like, converse with us, or go to the website. Send us a message at sports56whbq.com. I was thinking there was a possibility I was going to melt yesterday. How was your Monday?
It was good. Good. Yeah, it was definitely warm outside. But I spent a little time outside. Lost a little weight. That's all good. I need that. That's good. I like sweating once in a while.
Yeah, I was sweating. I don't know if I lost any weight, though. That would be great if that was the case, man. You go out and you play golf or you do something active. You would think you would lose some weight, but you probably lose a little water weight, and then you make up for it by drinking and eating and doing all that good stuff. But, yeah, it's rough, but we expect it every year. We get it every year, and we have to live with it every single year. All right, Memphis basketball, and, you know, for those who are up with us here this early, we probably will talk more about this later on in the show as more and more people get up and get their day started, because it's very important as we sit here on June 14th. And remember, last year with Memphis basketball, they got Jalen Duren fairly late. They got Amani Bates really, really late. So there's always a chance to add to the roster. But I thought they were going to get Kerwin Walton. I didn't say it was a definite, but I had some people that tell me they thought the lean was to Memphis. But instead, Kerwin Walton decides that he is transferring, the North Carolina shooter. He's going to Texas Tech. So once again, Memphis comes up short. Now, they have been able to land some pretty good players, especially when you look at Kendrick Davis. But they have missed out on a number of guys that they've wanted to add to the team for shooting, for depth, things of that nature. Keon Brooks comes to mind and went to Washington. Caleb Murphy comes to mind. I think he went to DePaul, and others as well. And there's still guys out there, but the pickings are getting a little bit slimmer. And I just wonder how much negative recruiting conversation goes on with other schools. I mean, to a certain extent. You don't want to make it where you just look bad to the recruit, in this case the transfer, and it kind of turns their stomach and they say, I don't want to go play for this guy. But to some extent, don't you think they're doing that when it comes to a school that's competing against maybe Memphis for a player?
Well, that goes on amongst every school out there. There's a lot of negative recruiting, I'm sure. But, you know, and with the NCAA stuff that's out there, I'm sure that is brought up by schools if a guy is considering Memphis that, hey, you know, they might be getting this penalty or that penalty or whatever. Now, for Walton, it's not like he only has 1 year of eligibility left. He's got plenty of eligibility left, so I don't know how much that would have affected him. I mean, people said Texas Tech was the leader from the get-go, and he ends up there. So, you know, for whatever reason, I don't know why he liked Texas Tech more than Memphis or whatever, or why he chose that, and how much the NCAA stuff had to do with it. But certainly he would have been a nice addition with his ability to shoot the basketball that he showed 2 years ago. So that's a tough miss.
Yeah, look, he may have just preferred, right? It might be as simple as that. Black and white, boom. I just prefer to go to Texas Tech. One of his comments was, I felt that I can make an immediate impact. I think anybody who has the ability to shoot the ball can make an immediate impact at Memphis and will have plenty of opportunities because of Kendrick Davis, who is a shooter but is also a really good distributor. And when teams focus on him, it gives other players that have the ability to shoot ample opportunities. So I think he certainly had a chance here at Memphis, but he felt that it was a better chance at Texas Tech. And that's his preference, and that's the way he goes. But I still believe that there's got to be a lot of negative recruiting going on. I'm not saying that Penny would land all these guys, but there has been a lot of misses here. And when you have a guy that prefers DePaul, well, yeah, maybe he wants to go to Chicago. Maybe he wants to play in the Big East. I don't know. I don't know these guys. But Penny usually gets these guys. And it's a little disappointing because, again, I don't know what's out there. There's still some players, according to everything I've read and heard. But you're starting to get to slim pickings time. And Memphis needs shooting. Anybody who thinks that team is strong enough to go to the tournament just the way it is, I don't believe it is. I mean, it's just an opinion, but I don't believe it is. I think they could be good. I don't think they could be really good until they get some shooting help. You put a couple guys on the wing who can knock down a three, and it opens the door for Davis and Williams and the rest of the gang. And they don't have to be as deep as they were last year because the depth actually got them in trouble at times. But they have to be deeper than what they are right now. So that was a little disappointing because I really did believe that Kerwin Walton was going to end up going to Memphis. Now, we'll see what happens with the kid with Boise State, and there's some other guys out there that are still available in the transfer portal. In the meantime, the news came out yesterday afternoon that Frank Haith is going to join Penny Hardaway's coaching staff. Frank Haith, the former Tulsa head coach, who stepped down at the end of this past season, was the 2020 American Conference Coach of the Year. Back in 2012, he was the National Coach of the Year at Missouri. Now, he's had a checkered past. He's had some recruiting issues and violations at Missouri and at Miami. But Frank Haith is a well-respected X's and O's guy, good motivator, had success at Tulsa against Memphis. I think he's a damn good basketball coach. Now, I don't know if this means bringing in the veteran Frank Haith, that Larry Brown now is done. I don't know because there's still at least one opening, maybe two openings on that staff. But if you could put aside some of the past indiscretions by Frank, and of course now things are so much different, I love the hire. If all the reports are true, which they seem to be.
Certainly a guy who's the matchup zone defense that he used at Tulsa caused the Tigers a lot of problems, and he had success against Penny and the Tigers. So certainly not a surprise that Penny would maybe want to bring that guy in. I will say this. I mean, like, I always feel like I got to be like. There are some people out there act like he just hired John Wooden. I mean, the guy's got one tournament win in 18 years. He has a loss. When he was the National Coach of the Year, he went into the NCAA tournament as a 2 seed and lost to a 15 seed in the first round of that tournament. That tournament win, by the way, came in 2008. So, like, let's not act like this is some guy who's had unbelievable runs and great tournament success and all that. And quite frankly, if Memphis had beaten Tulsa all those times, like they should have, like, I don't know how much people would care about Frank Haith or think Frank Haith is that good of a coach.
Well, I don't know if people are saying that he's the next coming of John Wooden. But Frank Haith, what you're getting is there's a couple things. You're getting a veteran coach. We always talk about Penny having that right-hand man. Well, again, I don't know what Larry Brown's situation is. They're getting a guy who does run a really good matchup zone defense. Now, Penny's a man-to-man guy, so Penny will run his defense, but I think in certain circumstances, now they will learn that matchup zone from a guy who can coach it well and have that option when they need it, if they need it in particular games. And then third of all, if Penny gets suspended from the IARP, it's a veteran coach who has been there and has done that to lead the team. So
why wouldn't Larry Brown be that guy?
I don't think Larry Brown's coming back. I don't think he's going to be, if he comes back, he's going to be in the capacity he was last year. I don't know. But why, for Larry Brown's 82 years old, I don't know if Larry Brown is the answer. Larry Brown was brought in to be a mentor to Penny Hardaway, a guy you can lean on. I don't know how much Penny leaned on Larry Brown. I don't know.
And if he wouldn't lean on Larry Brown, he's going to lean on Frank Haith?
Yes. Yes, he will.
Why? Why would you say that?
Because Frank Haith has coached for a couple of decades.
Larry Brown has coached for 50 years. I'm like, he what? If he wouldn't listen to Larry Brown, do you think he's going to listen to Frank Haith?
No, what I'm saying is he's not. He's going to be stubborn. But what I'm saying is if Penny Hardaway is suspended, which he probably will be for some games, he has Frank Haith to take over because Frank Haith, as recently as this past season, has coached.
So, okay, great. So he's got a guy during a suspension, but you said he's going to lean on him. He's not going to lean on him.
Well, lean on him in the sense that you got a veteran coach. If there's anything that comes, Penny's always going to be his own man. He's going to do what he wants to do, right? I don't think he leaned on Larry Brown as much as he probably should have. Again, I don't know that for certain. I don't know all the intricacies that were happening behind closed doors. What I'm saying is Larry was more a guy they brought in as a mentor, figurehead, guy who can, relate to any problem that arises because he's been there and he's done that. Now you bring in Frank Haith, you bring in a veteran coach, as opposed to bringing in, what I'm saying is, as opposed to bringing in a couple of young high school coaches in Memphis, he brings in a veteran like Frank Haith. Don't know the situation with Larry Brown, so I can't speak about it, but I can guesstimate that probably Larry won't return or it will be in a different capacity. So I think the hire is really good. I'm not worried about the baggage because, again, we live in a different world where now we have NIL deals and most stuff is above board. It's no longer the problems that you're going to have in the past with illegal recruiting and violations of that nature. So I don't know. Look, I like it, but I would have liked it better yesterday to hear the news that Curran Walton had transferred. And that's throwing a lot of chips onto the table with a guy who hardly played this past season. That's how desperate I think things are getting. Now, maybe Penny doesn't feel that way and other people feel that way. I know basketball pretty well. I've been around the game pretty well. I look at the roster, and I see the void. I could see the shooting void on this team. All their shooters from last year, guys you counted on, some more consistent than others, with Harris, with Nolly, with Quinones, are all gone. Yes, Davis is a shooter, but the way I defend Memphis, if they don't pick up any more wings who can shoot the ball, is I double them up. Gets to the top of the key, I double him up. I make life hard on him. So who right now can you depend on? Jaden Hardaway is probably your next best shooter that's on the team. So, and the guys they picked up, the other guys they picked up from the portal are not shooters. So this is really where it's coming down to Penny. Penny can sell anything, right? He can sell you swampland in Florida. But the problem is when they have this thing hovering, this black cloud hovering, there are players who are going to look at it and go, hey, you can't give me an answer. You can't tell me what if you're going to go on probation, if you're going to be ineligible to play in the tournament. I want to know that. I guarantee you there's some of that going on, and I guarantee you there's a lot of negative recruiting going on.
I have no idea what's going on in recruiting. I don't know why they're missing on these guys, but certainly they need more players. I mean, this again. I mean, I know the belief is that Kendrick Davis somehow makes them like this unbelievable team, but he couldn't take SMU to the tournament. I don't believe he's taking this Memphis team to the tournament.
One other bit of news involving Memphis. I saw this from our friend Jason Munns from the Commercial Appeal that Louisville coach Kenny Payne in his first year, who was approached by Penny Hardaway to maybe start a series of home and home with the Tigers, says he would like to wait a few years, not only on Memphis, but he was also approached by Mike Woodson, the Indiana coach. Kenny Payne was. And so he said he'd like to wait a few years to try to schedule Memphis and schedule Indiana. So don't look at that for the immediate future, but maybe something that will happen here in the not-too-distant future. That's the news from the Memphis Tigers. We'll revisit all of this and talk recruiting later on in the show. News from the Grizzlies yesterday was Taylor Jenkins agreeing to a new multi-year contract. He led the Grizzlies to the second-best record in the NBA. He was the runner-up for the Coach of the Year. He has been incredible since his arrival. Again, one of those hires that you go, who's this guy? Oh, he's an assistant for Budenholzer. Well, all he's done is gone 128-99, 2 playoff appearances in 3 years. They're getting better and better. The players love him. The terms were not released, but Taylor Jenkins, the extension, no surprise whatsoever.
Nah, this is the second easiest decision they have this offseason behind the John Morant max extension. I mean, you had to get something done. They do that quickly, get it done. That's good for everybody involved, and yes, a very, very smart move and a very easy move to make.
There was an NBA trade yesterday. Things will start to heat up. The draft is a week from Thursday. The Nuggets traded former Grizzly JaMychal Green to Oklahoma City for the 30th pick in this year's draft. 2 future second-rounders. OKC also getting a protected 2027 first-round pick. And then, of course, last night on the court in San Francisco, the Warriors beat the Celtics 104-94 as the Warriors go up 3-2. I still have a chance to nail it. I had the Warriors in 6, but, the way this is going, it probably will be headed for a 7th game. But finally, Golden State, as I thought they would, was able to stop Boston from that long streak of winning games after losses. So 2 straight losses now for Boston. They committed 18 turnovers that led to 22 Golden State Warriors points.
Yeah, the Celtics and the turnovers, and they are and it's the problem is it's their best players. I mean, Jaylen Brown for Boston fans has got to be one of the most frustrating players in the NBA. I mean, you see how talented he is, but the guy just cannot hold on to the basketball. The decisions he makes of dribbling into traffic or getting caught in the air and not knowing what he's doing or where he's going with it, it's got to just be like, what in the world? Mm-hmm. He is, and Tatum does a lot of it too. I mean, Tatum has a lot of just where guys just take the ball away from him. They play so weak with the basketball. And I'll say this, Golden State may have been knocking in the first half of that game, Boston, all they did is kept driving to the basket and then losing the basketball or missing shots that they kind of threw up, somewhat wildly. Maybe Golden State was defending without fouling on every single one of those. If they did, it's incredible defense. But the officials would not call a foul on Golden State in the first half of that game. It was always Boston drive to the basket. Guy would go up. He would say he got fouled. And NBA players always think they got fouled, that they missed the shot. But I was like, man, if this is literally every one of these possessions is they're doing this cleanly, that is incredible defense by Golden State.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk, and there has been since the end of the game and during the game, about the officials letting them play, but letting them play to a fault. You and I often get into this discussion of the topic of whether a game should be called the same way in the postseason as it should be called in the regular season, and we could debate that all day long. I still think, a foul's a foul, but man, oh man, yeah, there was a lot of things happening. Then, of course, there was the dramatics, the acting, the thespian. We saw a couple of times with, fouls that were called that probably should not have been called, but for the most part, it was
the series they had were the Marcus Smart technical followed by the Marcus Smart foul on a Jordan Poole complete flop.
That was Poole acting, yeah.
And then
give him the academy.
And people again, I'm starting to wonder what Draymond Green would have to do to get a technical. I don't know how he can follow Jason Tatum trying to take the ball from him during a timeout all the way into the Boston huddle, into their bench area, other guys over there with him, and there's just not a technical. You get to go over to their bench area following a guy just to try and take the basketball from him, even though it's a dead ball.
He would have to strip. I think he would have to go naked on the court. Maybe they would call it then. Look, we said it, that they are not going to they are not going to, in their minds, affect the outcome of the game by doing something drastic like teeing him up twice and ejecting him or giving him a flagrant 2. He's getting away with murder, but a lot of guys are getting away with fouls. They're allowing them to play. I don't mind them letting them play a little bit, but gosh, I still think when it's a foul, it should be a foul in the first quarter and in the fourth quarter. And that the dramatics of Jordan Poole, you're right, the whole thing with Marcus Smart. But look, they lost the game. The bottom line is they kept turning the damn ball over. In the meantime, Tatum and Brown played 44 minutes each. Now you turn around, you go back to Boston. I mean, they're still the greatest conditioned athletes in the world, so they'll be fine. But some big minutes. Marcus Smart played 40. You know, I'd like to say Boston, maybe their struggles are because they don't have a real true point guard, but they're in the finals. They're battling for an NBA title, so it's hard to argue what they have. Now, they do have Derek White that comes off the bench, who's a true point guard, but he was ineffective last night, 21
White is
minutes.
not a point guard.
Huh?
Derek White is not a point guard.
He doesn't bring up the ball?
Well, he might break the ball once in a while, but he's not a point guard.
Well,
I
think
he's nothing close to a point guard. He's never been a point guard.
When he's in the game, he has the ball. That's the way I look at a point guard. I don't care if you want to say.
I mean, Jason Tatum brings the ball up most of the time.
When Derek White is in the game, he brings up the ball. He brings the ball up. I watched him every game bring the ball up and run the offense. He runs the offense like a point guard. I don't care if he's officially a two, a combo, whatever you want to say. He's different than Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart is not that type of guard. He's different than White, but it doesn't matter. White was ineffective last night. He was 0 for 4 from the field. He had 1 point. In the meantime, for Golden State, Curry goes 0 for 9 from 3. The long three-point streak is over. He only has 16 points, right? We talked about that yesterday, about who's the most important guy. Well, obviously, Steph is the most important guy on this team, and this is the first game he actually was off a little bit. But Andrew Wiggins, the last 2 games, has been sensational, living up to his number 1 overall selection by Minnesota, 26 points, 13 rebounds. But I thought Draymond Green was a difference maker early on, and he ends up with 8 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. He did the things. This is exactly what I was talking about with Draymond Green. He's not going to put up huge numbers, but he's going to affect the game in a lot of different ways. Get under your skin. Do some things on defense. Block some shots. He was the Draymond Green I expected him to be. I'm not saying that's why they won the game. But when Steph can have an off game, Clay was fine, but Wiggins really stepped up. You didn't get much from the bench. Draymond Green was a factor. He was a factor last night, and I think that's a big reason why they won the game. So we'll talk more about the NBA Finals later on in the show. We'll revisit all the Memphis Tiger news. We'll get your thoughts as well with calls and texts. But when we return, we're talking SEC football, probably a little SEC baseball as well with our good buddy Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South. Folks, if you're looking for a new roof or you just need repairs on a damaged roof or repairs around the home, Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration is your go-to for all your roofing and home repair needs, locally owned and operated. The proprietor is my friend Brandon McCullough. Give him a call and tell him you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings. You can call him at 901-438-5084 or go online to newroofmemphis.com. Check them out. They offer financing, many different plans and options to choose from. 6, 12, even an 18-month same as cash option. They'll work with your insurance company. They'll work out of pocket, whatever it takes. Your insurance company can't tell you what company has to do the work. That is your call. Pinnacle is part of the Roofs for Troops program. Any veteran, active, or retired, you get a $250 rebate on the purchase of a new roof. They do residential and commercial roofing. So business owners, property managers, listen up. Also, of course, homeowners. If you have a leak or any other roofing problem, call Brandon. They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. They're licensed, bonded, and insured, and a member of the Better Business Bureau. You get a 5-year labor warranty on the purchase of a new roof, and all their work is satisfaction guaranteed. That includes carpentry work, exterior painting. They can replace gutters, put up fencing and siding, install shingles, rotten wood repair. Whatever it is you can't do yourself, call the experts at Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. Quality work at a very reasonable price. Again, call Brandon at 901-438-5084 or go online to newroofmemphis.com. Connor O'Gara is next, just underway on a Tuesday. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 98.5 FM, and 96.1 FM, as well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdingers. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdingers, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdingers offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Barks now offers you just about everything you need for your furry family member. Daycare, luxury boarding, award-winning grooming, veterinary checkups, diagnostic services including digital x-ray, fluoroscopy and ultrasound, complete dental service, vaccinations, preventative care for fleas, ticks, and heartworms, and just about any needed surgical treatment. And did I mention that we treat cats and all types of exotic pets? We are the newest member of the Barks family and the newest, most high-tech veterinary hospital in the Mid-South. Located directly across the street from Barks and Recreation, we are a full-service hospital with a fantastic, experienced staff. If you're having problems getting a timely appointment at your current vet's facility, we are here to serve you. Call us at 901-979-8888. Barks and Medication. Excellence in veterinary care.
Add a little excitement to your sports watching experience by betting on all the action on FanDuel Sportsbook. There's a reason why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Their app is simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique, fun bet types like same-game parlay, and exclusive always-on promotions such as enhanced odds boosts on the biggest events to let you get more action out of every game day. And if you win, they even get you your winnings safely in as little as 24 hours. If you've never tried FanDuel Sportsbook, what are you waiting for? Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started and be sure to sign up with promo code CASH so they know I sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code CASH. Must be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only, $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable site credit that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
The Take It On sales event is still going strong at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Go the extra mile with 41 MPG Highway in your 2022 Mitsubishi Mirage G4. $259 a month or buy for $17,885. Get ready for your summer road trip with 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. $359 a month or buy for $25,285. Plus 2022 Outlander. Vacation ready with 7 seats. We Gossett at $369 a month or $29,005. And you'll always get our stellar 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get to Gossett Mitsubishi today, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 72 months at 3.9. Outlander NZO 68336, MSRP 29505. Sport NU 09708, MSRP 26035. G4 NHFO 5848, MSRP 18385. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Sports 56 Traffic.
This Sports 56 traffic update is brought to you by Man Cave Salon. Custom haircuts, barber services, and hot steam towel treatments, rejuvenating facials and massages in zero-gravity full-body massage chairs. Now expanded with a built-in bar so you can enjoy a few beers. Man Cave Salon on Facebook and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Right now we're working a big accident on the I-55 between Mound City and Bridgeport. This is coming from the city of Memphis into Arkansas. That's 55 between Mound City and Bridgeport. And we're having delays in both directions. So keep that in mind. Use the 40 bridge as an alternate.
Morning. On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Number 3 drove it. Chuck Berry
81 degrees at 7:32, on the way up to about 97 today. A little bit lower humidity than it was yesterday, so the heat advisories have not been issued, but it will be another scorcher. Connor O'Gara joins us in just a moment as we welcome you back. By the way, Derek White is listed as everything. I'm looking at all these different stories. NBC combo guard, then he's a shooting guard here, then he's a point guard here. Derek White, 24/7 Sports, point guard, then Derek White, San Antonio Spurs. They have used Derek White as the starting point guard, which he was in 18-19. Then he became a shooting guard. The guy's a combo guard. And with Boston coming off the bench, he brings up the basketball. So that's why I gave him that title. But again, you can look at Derek White and go combo guard because he's obviously a scoring guard as well. But he certainly has the ball in his hands an awful lot of times. Time now for Connor O'Gara.
It's time to talk some SEC and college football. Joining Greg and Eli is Connor O'Gara from SaturdayDownSouth.com. Now, here's Connor O'Gara with Greg and Eli.
Man, I thought you were about to switch up his music. What are we doing, Zach? Connor likes this song. He is Connor O'Gara, senior national correspondent for Saturday Down South and Saturday Tradition. You can follow him on Twitter at CJ O'Gara. He joins us every Tuesday here on Sports 56 Mornings. How are you, man?
Good. You know, Zach's just keeping me honest. I need to change up every once in a while, just kind of keep me on my toes. Like, oh, hey, we're mixing things up. Because I think we've gone with the same thing for like 3 years, but Zach might be onto something. Maybe we got to mix it up a little bit and get away from Thunderstruck.
Your call, my friend, always your call.
It's such a great song, though.
It kind of pumps you up, doesn't it? It pumps you up.
It's the best intro song you could possibly have. That's why I went with it. But you know, everything kind of runs its course. Maybe we got to workshop that in the offseason. Come up with a new song for 2022.
Yeah, just take a look at the Manilow catalog. You'll find something that'll just fire you up like Thunderstruck. I mean, come on, Mandy. Man, you can't get fired if you don't listen. If you can't listen to Mandy and get fired up, then something's wrong with you. All right, my friend. So what's going on with our good buddy here on the show, Ross Bjork and Texas A&M? As the story came out yesterday that reportedly they have contacted Greg Sankey in the SEC offices and want Bama punished for what Nick Saban had to say about Texas A&M and Jimbo Fisher.
It's interesting because I think we see this come out after the fact, and we're like, oh, yeah, of course A&M would try and get Nick Saban suspended. We saw, based on Jimbo Fisher's reaction, that they were the most offended people in the room. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But the timing of it and the way that this played out actually is pretty obvious why Greg Sankey chose what he did, which was to have a public reprimand and no suspension for Nick Saban. They sent that email to the SEC before Jimbo Fisher came out with his statement. And if you read the report from On3, which did a great job of being able to obtain this via public records request, they said that Greg Sankey talked to Jimbo Fisher before he had that very viral press conference. And Sankey told him, look, you can't then commit, these violations as well and talk about misconduct of another institution. Otherwise, you're in violation of this as well. And that's ultimately what he did. I mean, if you go back and read kind of like what Jimbo Fisher was saying about Nick Saban, the comments about him being God, and, you should go look into his past, the way that he did his deal. Jimbo Fisher essentially did the same thing, if not worse, than Nick Saban, which made Greg Sankey's job pretty easy. If Jimbo Fisher had just kept his mouth shut and if he had just let this thing kind of run its course and put the pressure on Greg Sankey to maybe come out with something specific to Nick Saban, maybe this would be different. I still don't think he would have suspended Nick Saban, but by virtue of A&M's request to have Nick Saban suspended and fined, they should also be saying that Jimbo Fisher should be suspended or fined because he did something really similar.
Right.
So I think from that perspective, you kind of look at this, and it's the old double technical thing in college, like that you see in college basketball or in the NBA, where that's the path that Greg Sankey chose. And, I think that Jimbo Fisher retaliating the way that he did made life a little bit easier on Greg Sankey.
I love the line of Coach Saban's statement is false, beneath the dignity of the SEC and corrosive to the fabric of sportsmanship in college football as a whole, and especially within the SEC. Corrosive to the fabric of sportsmanship. That's strong language right there.
I'm just going to copy and paste that one for a bunch of future columns, right? Like, corrosive to the foundation. Man, like, that just paints a picture right there. What great use of words, especially early in the morning when they fired off this email to have, oh my gosh, like they were really going scorched earth. I mean, that's what this all comes down to. Like, I can't imagine how much editing it took to get to that point, because we saw how fired up Jimbo Fisher was. And it wasn't Jimbo Fisher who sent off email. Obviously, Jimbo Fisher and Ross Bjork had these conversations to try and get on the same page. The president of Texas A&M as well, who co-signed this email. So you know that they were very much heated when they saw this come out. And this was something that looked like they probably tried to keep it between the lines as much as they possibly could. But, I mean, quite simply, Jimbo Fisher could not help himself. He was obviously fired up. This was a personal deal. We talked about this ad nauseum. So it's not necessarily a surprise to see this come out. But, you know, there's precedent here. Like, you know, usually if you say something like that, it results in a fine of some sort. You know, we've seen Lane Kiffin, Dan Mullen get fined for actions that, in my opinion, are pretty similar. And Nick Saban admitted, like, look, I shouldn't have called him out, and he apologized for that. But at the same time, he didn't blatantly accuse him of cheating. So, you know, kind of take that for what it is. But I think it gets treated with a little bit of a different context in the NIL era.
I would have loved to I would like to see, like, if there was just to be a fly on the wall for the whole process of writing this email. I want to know how many people were in the room, like giving, go with corrosive to the fabric of sportsmanship. Yeah, that's a good one. We're going to use that one. Come on, give me the next line. I want to know what the team effort was here.
They had dictionaries out, the sources out. They had everything out for that. I don't think I've ever heard that word used other than like maybe soda. That'll if you drink too much soda, that'll do that to your stomach. You know, that will do that. But I don't think I've ever heard it in that vein. But yeah, they went real deep in the vocabulary for that one. Speaking of things with the SEC and statements made, how about and this has happened over the course, I guess, of the last week, Lincoln Riley being thrown out onto the platform of trying to avoid the SEC, and that's the reason why he decided to leave, because obviously Oklahoma is going to be coming to the SEC soon, and he got out of Dodge and went to USC. That's the reason, to avoid having to go up against the powers of the SEC, and then he responded to that.
Yeah, I saw the Ross Dellinger story about that with those comments, and I think it's I still go back to my original belief that Lincoln Riley and Brian Kelly left their respective programs for the same exact reason. They saw their ceilings. I mean, that's what this comes down to. They saw their ceilings, and they decided that they wanted to go to a place where they didn't have that perceived ceiling. And you know what? I still think that LSU is more built to win than USC, despite the fact that LSU is obviously in the toughest division in college football, and USC is in the conference that hasn't been to a college football playoff since 2016. But I look at this and say that was probably that was the determining factor. Whether Lincoln Riley ever comes out and says directly that, he's going to say, yes, I went to USC because of the opportunity. I wanted to be able to win championships. But it's also because he saw the ceiling at Oklahoma. Like, he really did. And to me, that's still the question that I have a little bit about what he's going to be able to do at USC, because if you can't get those guys in the trenches, which that's still important. He didn't have those guys at Oklahoma in the way that he needed to, especially on the defensive line, where they would just get pushed around in college football playoff semifinal games. Then, you know, if you're not able to do that at USC, which, you know, typically has not been quite able to do that and compete with the big boys, then how is that really going to change your championship ceiling? I don't know. I don't think that he was blatantly running from the SEC. Do I think it was a positive in his pursuit of a national championship and trying to reach that next level? Absolutely. Like, it has to be. So, yeah, it's a fascinating dynamic, but I think this is all about that original question that both Lincoln Riley and Brian Kelly asked themselves: can they win a championship with the program that they were at? And the answer, both of them decided, was no.
I'm sure there's a lot of people around the country that get tired of watching Alabama have success, and so they're happy to see Nick Saban and them lose. But have you ever seen a country as united about a team losing as we are about Tennessee baseball?
You guys, I don't know if there's one. I tried to think about this, and I threw a bunch of teams out there in pro sports, college sports on the latest episode of Saturday Down South podcast. Go download, subscribe, please, if you will. I think that you could look at like the Bad Boys Pistons of the late 80s, early 90s until they finally lost to my beloved Chicago Bulls and say that's probably the best example because it was truly an us against the world type thing. Duke losing this past year in Coach K's final season, there were definitely elements of that, but Duke still has a national fan base, like the Yankees, the Lakers, these teams still have national fan bases. Tennessee is like one state against 49. I mean, and even you guys in Memphis,
it's
like,
only a corner of the state.
Exactly. So it's like one very small part. I kind of made the joke. I'm like, look, all of Tennessee's fans were in that stadium over the weekend, and everybody else was bleeding green and gold. I mean, it just kind of felt like that. It's weird because, I get it to a certain extent, and it's probably because, Tennessee hasn't been there. They haven't done that, so people kind of have this awkward thing in sports where if you haven't been a championship program, like who are you to be so brash? But yeah, I don't know if there's a better us against the world type example in recent memory in sports that really kind of made everyone collectively hate on a team. It didn't matter that it was Notre Dame and people hate Notre Dame to begin with. It was anybody but Tennessee, and I think it was just fascinating to watch that play out.
Well, a couple of things. I know the point you're trying to make about Memphis, and you're absolutely right. Within the state, not just all the states versus Tennessee, it's like within the state. A lot, and even though there's a lot of Tennessee people here that went to Tennessee, they're grads of Tennessee, there's a lot of hatred for the Orange. Number two, baseball. How about baseball being in the spotlight as much as it has been because of Tennessee? Just, part of it, but a lot of it because of Tennessee and Tony Vitello and just the brashness of Tennessee. I love it. I love the fact that they are like that. They go to extremes. And I also respect this, Connor, that they lost, and it wasn't sour grapes, at least from what I read. It seemed like they just, and what I heard with Tony Vitello, seemed like he just tipped his cap to Notre Dame, and they beat us. So it wasn't a bunch of excuses. So if you're going to go out there and you're going to do the things that they do, but as long as you're going to be professional about it when you lose, I don't mind that.
Yeah, I agree. And look, they wore that villain, that villain identity, like at each and every place they went. And for those saying, well, this is why you can't act this way, and karma was always going to catch up to you. It's like they lost 7 games up until this weekend, man. Like they had the number one offense, the number one pitching staff in the country. Like they were dynamic. I mean, this team was absolutely loaded. And you know what? Like Notre Dame played a great series. If you look at the game that on Sunday, which my guy Tom Hart was on the call and I thought was fantastic on, like, it's a 3-1 game in the 7th inning, and they leave 2 fastballs up in the zone, and just like that, Notre Dame takes advantage of both of them, and that's all she wrote. Like that's baseball. That's why we haven't seen a number 1 overall seed win the national championship this century. I mean, 1999 Miami's the last one to do it. Like it is hard. It is so hard to be that team that gets everybody's best shot all the time. And Tennessee had been kind of taking that in stride all year, and they just ran into a Notre Dame team that was ready to go. They didn't make those key mistakes. They had the one bad game on Saturday. Go figure, it was without Drew Gilbert when he was dealing with that suspension. But yeah, Tennessee just made a few mistakes, and that's kind of what baseball comes down to sometimes.
Yeah, and let's give credit where credit's due. 4 of the 8 from the SEC, 4 of the 8 from the SEC West, and then Oklahoma and Texas will be members of the SEC.
Yeah.
So a pretty darn good showing by that conference. Real quick, we're running out of time. Do you got a pick to win it all?
Oh, man, that's really tough. Maybe it's Arkansas's year. Yeah, maybe it's Arkansas's year.
That would be
what? They like. I'm always big on the redemption thing. They were the number 1 overall seed last year. Didn't get it done. Didn't get back to Omaha. I think they make it happen this year. I think we end up getting an all SEC championship for what would be the 5th time ever in College World Series history. I think that happens. I think they've been kind of embracing that anywhere, anytime type mindset. I think it's the Hogs' year.
He is Connor O'Gara, senior national correspondent for Saturday Down South and Saturday Tradition. You can follow him on Twitter at CJ O'Gara, columnist, I should say, as well. Obviously, read all his great stuff at Saturday Down South, and make sure to follow him on Twitter at CJ O'Gara. Listen to him every Tuesday, whether it's Thunderstruck or another song, right here on Sports 56 Mornings. Thank you, Connor, as always. Have a great week.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, guys.
Take care. All right, when we come back, we're going to give you the topic for tomorrow's 5 favorite things. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, folks. Bob Burkheimer for Sunrise Buick GMC Truck. It's our 34th anniversary at Sunrise, and we're celebrating with a sale and savings that are bigger than ever. Over 600 new and used cars and trucks to choose from with huge Sunrise savings. See the entire inventory at sunrisememphis.com. Hundreds of pre-owned vehicles with a lot specializing in cars and trucks under $10,000. Credit not so hot? It's okay. At Sunrise, we specialize in secondary credit and have financing for everyone. New cars and trucks aren't free, but at least they're affordable at the 34th anniversary sale going on now at all Sunrise locations. Covington, Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
The Blue Angels are back at the Memphis Air Show, June 18th and 19th at the Millington Memphis Airport. See the Blue Angels rip through the Memphis skies, performing acrobatic maneuvers and formations. Tons of death-defying performers. B-17 Texas Raiders, F-35 Lightning, F-22 Raptor, Leapfrogs, Skip Stewart, Kids Family Fun Zone. All performances are included in the price of admission. Discounted tickets are available for a limited time at MidSouthAirShow.com. See you at the Memphis Air Show, June 18th and 19th at the Millington Memphis Airport.
Hey, I got one of my best customers, Mark, here.
Hey, Montana.
Hey, Mark, tell Sports 56 fans the deal of the century that I gave you at Sleep Cheap.
Yeah, I just bought the whole family some new mattresses. Our backs thank you. Easy professional people to work with, good quality mattresses and box springs, and they under-promised and over-delivered. We got the Sports 56 deal, the hybrid mattress and box springs regularly $1,000 for $599, and the wife and I got the king-size mattress normally $1,500 for $999.
Mark, it was a pleasure working with you. Glad you and your family are happy with the quality of our memory foam. Now I'm extending this manager's suite deal to my fellow Sports 56 fans. Check out our 3 locations, 6330 Winchester, Memphis, 1069 Goodman Road in Horn Lake, and West Memphis, 1701 North Missouri Street. Also wanted to let you know Sleep Cheap mattress sets starting at $199 to $4,000. We have twin XLs, queen, king, California King, we got it all. And again, guys, take advantage of this sweet Sports 56 hybrid mattress queen box deal. Normally $1,000, we got it for $599. We also have the King, normally $1,500, selling for $999. See y'all at Sleep Cheap.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hey, Mid-South, looking for the perfect ride that's perfect for you? We got it at Gossett Kia on the Pike. And if you don't see exactly what you want, no problem, we can order it for you. Right now at Gossett Kia, get a 2022 Kia Forte LXS, $210 a month. 2022 Kia Soul LX, $219 a month. Both 36-month leases and $27.99 due at signing. And road trip ready SUV 2022 Kia Sorento LX, $315 a month, 36-month lease and $34.99 due at signing. And all Gossett Kias come equipped with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month leases, $650 acquisition fee, $30,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, 0 security deposit. Forte, $89.89, $848, MSRP $20,770. Sold in $78,6867, MSRP $20,880. Sorento, NG $128,223, MSRP $31,980. Must finance through Kia plus tax Highland license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/5/22. Dealer stock only. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. Final segment here in hour number 1. Coming up in hour 2, we'll start things off with Humdinger's Trivia. Then Mike Bianco, the head baseball coach of the Ole Miss Rebels, who is Omaha bound. We will talk with Mike. Steve Sands from the Golf Channel on NBC will join us from Brookline, which is the site of the U.S. Open, which will begin Thursday. He will join us at 9:05. We always play 5 favorite things on Wednesday. We give you your opportunity to match ours or just, give us your opinion on whatever the topic may be. And every Tuesday we give you the topic. So, Eli, you got the choice this week. What's our topic for tomorrow?
Well, it actually plays a little well with talking with Connor O'Gara about his song choice for his intro. But the category for this week is your 5 favorite rock bands of all time.
5 favorite rock bands. This could get a little dicey. What some people consider bands. Is Hall & Oates a band, or is it just a duo?
That is a duo.
But they have all
if you have
kinds
Hall & Oates on your 5 favorite rock bands list, you should be disqualified.
No, I wouldn't, even though I love Hall & Oates. But, they have other members of the band. They're just known as Hall & Oates. So I don't know if that will be a little controversial tomorrow, but I think it's a good topic, and we'll have fun with it. A couple of things before we take the top of the hour timeout. If you missed it yesterday, the Braves...
Zach, you're not going to have Hall & Oates on. You weren't looking at have Hall & Oates on your list, were you?
I'm contemplating.
He's looking up right now to see who Hall & Oates are. He's like, he's right now.
I needed to look up the genre of the artist.
That's exactly what you're like. Who the hell's Hall & Oates?
He's wondering if is that
which is a good thing for you, Zach.
He's wondering, is that the cereal I eat every morning? Is it the Hall & Oates? So yesterday the Braves won their 12th straight game. They beat the Nats. 12 straight wins for the Braves, the defending World Series champions, but they lost Ozzie Albies to a fractured right foot.
Yeah, weird. He just on a swing fractured his foot. It's an awkward swing, but you don't see a guy just fracture your foot on a swing very often. So certainly some bad news for them as far as that is concerned. But they continue to be red hot.
From the world of football, the Miami Herald has a story, and we've heard little bits and pieces of this, but that the Dolphins were ready to offer Sean Payton a 5-year deal worth $100 million to become their head coach. Now, I believe he was still with New Orleans at that point, so they'd have to compensate New Orleans. And then the Tom Brady news that Brady would have probably joined him in Miami. But everything imploded when that story came out with Brian Flores and what was happening with Stephen Ross and everybody with the Dolphins and everything else in the National Football League. So what could have been for the Dolphins doesn't guarantee a Super Bowl win, but in Miami with Brady, with Peyton, that offense, the players they would have been able to bring in. Instead, Tampa was able to turn it into a Super Bowl win with Tom Brady.
Yeah, the would have been an interesting little mixture in Miami.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible, though. $100 million. The last $100 million deal given to a head coach didn't work out too well.
It did not. That is for sure. By the way, speaking of the NFL, apparently we'll get 2 more. We got 2 more women in line now against Deshaun Watson. So we're going to be up to 26 women now. But I guess he's going to still claim he did nothing wrong.
It's like the lunch counter. You're getting the lunch meat. Yeah, we're serving number 21 now. Number 21. Half a pound of bologna, sliced thin, please. Up to 26. That is just crazy. If you are into tennis, according to ESPN, there is the talk now, and I'm not sure when the deadline is to register to play or to whatever the case may be, but Serena Williams, I thought maybe is ready to step down and retire. Looks like she may be playing at Wimbledon after all. She is still 1 major behind Margaret Court for the all-time record, but Serena Williams may be playing in this year's Wimbledon Championships. All right, when we come back, hour number 2, it's going to be a busy one. Humdinger's Trivia, and then Mike Bianco will join us from Ole Miss. Stay tuned. If you're just joining us, good morning to you. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
The Take It On sales event is still going strong at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Go the extra mile with 41 MPG Highway in your 2022 Mitsubishi Mirage G4. $259 a month or buy for $17,885. Get ready for your summer road trip with 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. $359 a month or buy for $25,285. Plus 2022 Outlander. Vacation ready with 7 seats. We Gossett at $369 a month or $29,005. And you'll always get our stellar 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get to Gossett Mitsubishi today, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Golf 72 months at 3.9, Outlander NZO 68336, MSRP 29505, Sport NU 09708, MSRP 26035, G4 NHFO 5848, MSRP 18385, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month, dealer stock only.
It's a hot summer's day. You just finished cutting the lawn. Maybe you're getting off the golf course. You need something to refresh you. I've got just what the doctor ordered. In fact, it's called Poppy's Pills. Poppy's Pilsner. That's the best, and it comes from Grind City Brewing. It's light, crisp. It is that refreshing Pilsner. They say it's ultra crushable. Remember how Taco Bell stopped selling the Mexican pizza? Everybody lost their minds? Poppy Pilsner is the only thing that can ease that broken heart. Now, that came from an eyewitness named Sarah. Some people say it's sexy. It's light, it's refreshing, it's local. And for me, well, it just doesn't get any better than that. Ultra crushable, built for speed. It's available in 6-packs or 15-packs. You just ask your favorite retailer about it. Best enjoyed ice cold. It's what the doctor ordered. It's Poppy's Pills from Grind City.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
If you have damage to your home and have your insurance carrier involved, you need a great contractor. You also need a team that has seen claims of all shapes and sizes, residential or commercial. After our inspection, we'll share our findings and give you our professional opinion. Some people say you get what you pay for. However, our opinion is free. Trust the name you can depend on, like the tens of thousands of families Brian and I have served over the past 20 years here in the Mid-South. Brian Elder Roofing. We'll measure your roof from outer space and share our team's experience for your property and claim. Repaired roofs, replacement roofs, big roofs, tiny roofs, insurance roofs, flat roofs, TPO roofs, asphalt roofs, tile roofs, slate roofs, metal roofs. If your roof needs some love, call me. 901-867-0303 for Brian Elder Roofing and Contracting.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
What is all over you? Is that barbecue sauce?
Yep. Grabbed a rack of ribs from Central Barbecue on the way in.
And what ate them in the car?
I was running kind of late.
Why not? I mean, if you're going to eat in the car while you drive, why not skip the sauce?
Can't skip the sauce, man. Even though Central Barbecue's slogan is smoke is our sauce, I still got to have at least one of their signature sauces.
I can't believe I'm going to ask this. Which sauce did you get?
All of them.
That was going to be my guess.
Yep. Alternated mild, hot, sweet, heat, mustard, and vinegar. Took a few minutes, but totally worth it.
I thought you said you were running late.
That's why I was running late.
13 platinum records, over 65 million albums sold worldwide. This is Poison. Brett, Bobby, Cece, Ricky. The original lineup returns. Sunday, July 3rd, center stage at Silver Star Casino. Tickets on sale now. Visit PearlRiverResort.com. Don't miss the party of the year. Poison World Tour 2022.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Sports 56 Traffic.
This Sports 56 traffic update is brought to you by Crossroads Motors in Olive Branch. The accident has been cleared on I-55 between Mountain City and Bridgeport, but expect delays as truckers and cars are trying to get across the bridge. So the accident has been cleared. We were working an accident on Poplar between Peterson Lake and Main Street. We dealing with an overturned vehicle, and then we also have an accident, brand new accident here on I-40 West at Sycamore View. So just keep that in mind. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
82 degrees on the way up to about 97. A little bit less humidity than yesterday, so the excessive heat warnings have not been issued, but it's still going to be scorching hot. Sunshine all day. And then the rest of the week, the same, with temperatures soaring into the triple digits by the end of the week. We welcome you back to Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd. We're in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Mike Bianco will join us in just a moment, the Ole Miss baseball coach. Second hour of the program brought to you by our friends at James Gaddis Jewelers. I'll tell you more about them later on in the hour, but it's Tuesday. It's time for Humdinger's Trivia.
That's right. It's your opportunity to win a $25 gift certificate to Humdingers. Of course, it's Taco Tuesday at Humdingers every Tuesday, all day long. $2 chicken and fish tacos. They're great tacos over there. Just $2 all day long, each and every Tuesday. Humdingers located at Poplar and Massey. There's great tacos, of course, that you can take advantage of on Taco Tuesday. Every day, though, you can obviously get the tacos, but all the great grilled fish options, the great toppings and great sides, the chicken, the sandwiches, the salads. They got so much for you to choose from. Delicious stuff, great stuff over at Humdingers. And if you're the first to answer our trivia question correctly, then you win a $25 gift certificate. You can answer via text on the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. Text in those answers. Here is today's question. There have been 11 different guys who have made 7 3-pointers in a game in the NBA Finals. But there are only 2 guys who have ever made more than 7 threes in an NBA Finals game. Who are those 2 guys? Which 2 guys have made more than 7 threes in an NBA Finals game? 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. First correct answer gets that $25 gift certificate to Humdingers.
They are the hottest college baseball team still alive, and there's only 8 that remain. They're all headed to Omaha this weekend for the College Baseball World Series, and that team I'm talking about, the Ole Miss Rebels, one of 4 SEC Western Division teams to qualify. So in some regards, it's the SEC Invitational in Omaha. We are very pleased to be joined by the head coach of the Ole Miss Rebels, Mike Bianco, who you can follow on Twitter at Coach Mike Bianco. He joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. And Coach, first of all, congratulations. I know it's been kind of a crazy season, a lot of ups, some downs, but boy, you got hot at the right time and playing great baseball as you head to Omaha.
Yeah, thanks so much. And it's been one of those different years, one that we're not used to. But it's a lot better when it finishes well, and just proud of our guys. You know, I think most of your listeners probably know our story and how we started off preseason ranked number 5 or in the top 5 in the country, and worked our way to number 1, and just, you know, had a few injuries, played some bad baseball, you know, for about a month in April, and you know, was scratching and clawing. We're 7-14 at one point in the SEC, but our guys held it together and started playing good baseball again. And at the end, we've been terrific. So excited.
Coach, what was the time, or was there maybe a series or a game where you kind of felt like things were turning back and the team was playing the type of baseball that you knew they were capable of?
You know, Eli, you know, the question's been asked a lot. I don't know if there's a particular game or a moment. There's no comeback that I can remember. You know, but one thing that I will say, and it's not exactly the answer to your question, is there was never a moment, even when we were at 7-14. And as a coach, you know, you got your antennas up and you're trying to, you know, worry about everything. there was never a moment where I felt in the dugout looking at our players, looking at their face, where they felt they couldn't win. You know, they never, we were in a dark place at 7-14, but they never lost their energy, and so part of that, most of that, you can credit to the leadership, the Tim Elkos and the Justin Benches, and Kevin Graham, Derek Diamond, Matt Chofie. So many guys held it together, an older group that when you get to that point in the season, you can go one of two ways, and our guys just didn't let the ship sink. They just kept fighting.
In this day and age of college baseball, as you know, we see a lot of slugfests, a lot of games where there's a lot of offense. You go down to Coral Gables, and the pitching now you got the hitting as well, but the pitching really comes through with those wins over Miami and Arizona. You come back and you play Southern Miss, a team you're familiar with from the Magnolia State, and you go in there and you allow 7 hits with 2 shutout wins. You just don't see that as much today, Mike, but I know that if you have the good pitching to go along with the timely hitting, you got a chance to do real well.
You're exactly right. And, we all knew this offense, and it's been pretty consistent throughout the year, is one of the best offenses in the country. We just have been inconsistent on the mound, and took us a while to kind of figure out the rotation, especially at the front end with DeLucia and Elliott. We didn't, because we weren't having success, we probably misused Brandon Johnson, our closer, or I don't know if misused is even the right, phrase. We weren't in save opportunities. And so we were trying to, he's one of our best pitchers. So we tried to use him in some different ways in the bullpen. But we pitched it so well, that's why we're in Omaha. People say, hey, what do you need to do differently in the Super Regional? I guess it's not let the other team score, right? But you're exactly right. We're where we're at because we've pitched it so well here the last 3 weeks.
Well, and along that line, I mean, for a true freshman, and I know there was a lot of expectations for Hunter Elliott when he came in, but for a true freshman to go out there and turn in that performance in a clinching game in a Super Regional, that's got to be one of the special ones you've seen.
Yeah, legendary. Legendary. He, in that game, he broke Doug Nikhazy's freshman strikeout mark. And that'll show you where he ranks in the category at that age. And but that performance on that big stage when we really needed it, and even though we were up 1-0 with a coin flip in our third starter, and we didn't even announce that at that time. We didn't know who we would go with. I mean, we have some guys that we would have sat down and discussed who would have got the ball in Game 3. That was a critical game. Against their ace. A lot of people, he overshadowed Tanner Hall, their ace, and Hall had such a tremendous year and is really Southern Miss's number one. The only reason he didn't throw Game 1 is because he had 2 starts in the regional. And so, he just outpitched one of the best pitchers in the country.
Ole Miss Rebels baseball coach Mike Bianco joining us here on the program. You can follow him on Twitter at Coach Mike Bianco. So is it a good thing to have the familiarity you do with a bunch of these teams that are going to Omaha because 3 are going to be in your side, 2 with Auburn and Arkansas, and then, of course, Texas A&M on the other side? It's pretty strange, Mike, as you have 4 of the 8 in the SEC.
Yeah, I believe the last time was in 1997, and I was an assistant coach at LSU where we had 4 Western Division teams as well. The answer to your question is it doesn't make it any easier. It doesn't give you an advantage because both sides have that advantage. I think that the easier part of it, or what we think of, is just, I think, the scouting report, being familiar with their pitchers versus just getting a lot of different opinions and watching a lot of video. These are teams that we've all played, speaking of the SEC West teams, on our side of the bracket, Arkansas and Auburn. So preparing, I think, for our side a little easier. We're going to, have to, get some information on Stanford, but beyond that, I think, that's the part. But at the end of the day, when you get there, it's about playing well. And so it's less about who you play and more about everybody's deserving. Everybody's playing good baseball at this point. And obviously, they're a good team. It's about performing. And, I'm more concerned with that. We want to be able to, play and perform out there.
Well, certainly you should have some confidence offensively against the Auburn team that you put up a bunch of runs against. I'll give you this little scouting report, though, Coach. That Sonny D guy, he's pretty darn good.
Yeah, he is. He is. And, player of the year candidate, in our league and nationally. And, just a tremendous year, a grad transfer from Sanford and really is taking their offense to another level. But, you mentioned a lot of runs being scored. Man, that seemed like a year ago, and it was 3 months ago. So it was basically an SEC season ago. We opened up with them, right? So I don't know how many weeks ago that was, but maybe 12, 13 weeks ago. So we're both different clubs, I think, than when we faced them in early March. But Butch has done a tremendous job. They just have been super consistent, throughout the season. Auburn has, and has weathered the storm, and a team that hosted a regional, and then went through the gauntlet of going out west. It's tough, to go out there and win, in Oregon or California, just with the travel and everything else, and then to play, the number 3 national seed. So they haven't had an easy, go of it, as far as their path there, but they certainly are deserving.
So I jokingly started our interview off by saying the SEC Invitational, but it is crazy. Not only 4 from the SEC West, 2 future SEC members in Oklahoma and Texas, and the one absentee, which really emphasizes, not that it needs emphasizing, Mike, but is the strength of the SEC top to bottom, is that the number 1 overall seed does not make it to Omaha.
Yes. And so much I've watched shows, and even my wife has said it, and it's really true. Tennessee, and they didn't make it, and how didn't they make it? What happened? And, there's a lot of reasons, but the biggest reason is it's really hard.
Yeah.
It shows you how difficult it is, to navigate through these 2 weeks. You can have the best season and you want to put yourself in position to be a national seed, to host a super regional and do all that. But baseball is a different sport, and you have to, the game is not won by the best team, but it's the team that plays the best. And you don't see it any more than, regional and super regional. And so last year, it happened to Arkansas, where, they lost in a super regional and had as good a year as anybody in the country. And so, that happens. We know, we've seen it, in our dugout, where, we felt, we were as good as anybody and just didn't play well enough on that weekend. So, I'd go fall short of saying I'm surprised, but they had a terrific year. They just ran into a really good hot club in Notre Dame and just didn't play well enough.
So when do you travel to Omaha tomorrow? What's kind of the schedule as far as going? You don't play till the last game, I guess, Saturday night. So what's the schedule?
All right, here's the brief itinerary. The bags, we deadhead a bus. The bags will leave this morning at 10 a.m. And travel all night and get there, and bus will be waiting on us when we get there. We'll fly out tomorrow late morning, get there, eat a team meal. We'll have a short practice. There's some administrative meetings that I have to go to with some of the administrators on my staff Wednesday night. Thursday is the practice day. Everybody practices on the stadium field. There's an opening ceremonies on Thursday night, and then it starts Friday. So we're not in that first bracket. That other bracket plays on 1 and 6. We'll practice on Friday, and then we play 6 o'clock on Saturday. So there you go.
Yeah, the Rebels' first game will be against Auburn Saturday at 6 o'clock. You've always had a great following. I know it was tough to get tickets in Hattiesburg, so there's only so many Rebels fans. Do you expect to have a nice contingent to come to Omaha to support you guys?
Yeah, no doubt. We had so many people that made the trek up there in 2014. I've heard this from so many. It's tough, but I think our people know, if you get there, you'll get in. You know, I've never heard of anybody getting to Omaha and not being able to get into the stadium somehow. So tickets are hard to come by, but it's a giant stadium, 20,000 plus. So there'll be a lot of red and blue up there this weekend.
Mike, it's been a wild season. It's been a fantastic season. You guys are red hot. Keep it going in Omaha. Congratulations to even get this far. Like you said, it is not easy to accomplish that, but you're one of 8 teams that have a chance to win it all. So best of luck to you.
Best of luck to you. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike. Safe travels. Mike Bianco, the head coach of the Ole Miss Rebels. Again, a crazy year. At one point, they were talking about maybe Mike losing his job, that Ole Miss was possibly not going to make it into the conference tournament. They turned it around big time to do what they did to make it to Omaha.
So they'll be in Omaha for 3 days before they play a game.
Yeah. It's a little earlier than I thought they would leave.
With them not getting that, playing that last game of the opening round, so they'll get there Wednesday afternoon and not play till Saturday. That'd make you a little anxious, like as a player. You're like, my gosh, we're here. Like, let's play a game, for goodness sake. We got to wait 3 days before we finally play a game.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll get out Friday to watch some of the action when they're not practicing, when they're not getting ready. I mean, it's Omaha, for goodness sakes. It's not like they're out in the town in New Orleans or, some of the other bigger party cities. It's Omaha. You got a McDonald's over there.
Oh,
I've never been there. I don't want to poke fun in Omaha. So
no, you can't. Omaha sucks. I've only been there once, but it was not. It's not a place. I would love to go to the College World Series.
Sure, me too.
Everybody that I've ever talked to that's ever been there say it is just absolutely one of the great sporting events there is. Like, it's just so much fun and everything else. I would love to do so. I'd love to do the College World Series one time. Other than that, there is no reason whatsoever in my mind, literally ever, to go to Omaha for anything.
Well, we are
unless you were going to get some steaks, but they send those out to you.
They send them out to you.
They do those in the mail, so you don't even have to go get the steaks.
As you know, we have a melting pot city. We have obviously a huge contingent of Memphis fans, but we also have a lot of transplanted fans, guys and gals who are from Memphis that graduated from an SEC school. So you have support for all these schools. I would imagine that there'll be some folks from the area that support Ole Miss, Arkansas, Auburn, that'll be headed to Omaha. Who knows, maybe even an A&M fan or two from the area that'll be heading up there, because I've heard there's nothing like it, the College World Series. I would love to go one time before I leave the earth. I don't know if I'll ever get that opportunity, but I would suggest for anybody who's a fan of any of those schools, don't wait, because you never know when you're going to get back.
By the way, what odds you think you could have got somebody to give you if before the Super Regionals you said 4 SEC teams will advance, but Tennessee will be the one that does it?
Oh, gosh. Astronomical.
I mean, that's insane to think that 4 of the 5 advanced, and they're the one that didn't.
Well, remember we had several guests. We had David DeLucci. We had another guest that I asked the question. I said, what would be really good for the SEC? They have 5 chances. How many to get to Omaha? And I think the consensus answer was, well, you get 3 in there. I think it was maybe David Kellum. No. It was his sidekick.
Brad Henderson.
It was Brad Henderson, I asked that, and David DeLucci. And they both said, I think 3. And I don't think that's being too greedy. It's 60% of the 5. But I guarantee you, if I asked them, but Tennessee's one of them, right? Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Well, everybody, yeah. I mean, there's, again, the idea that Tennessee, I mean, if you go back.
That's why it's a huge disappointment.
If you go back to the Tennessee-Ole Miss series when Tennessee just, killed them, and to think Ole Miss is in Omaha, Tennessee's not. But I mentioned that series against Auburn. The 3 scores against Auburn. Game 1 was 13-6 Ole Miss. Game 2 was 19-5 Auburn. Game 3 was 15-2 Ole Miss.
I remember that series. So, how many homers did Sonny D hit?
He said, as Mike said, that was St. Patrick's Day. That series opened on St. Patrick's Day, so that seems like an eternity ago.
Mm-hmm.
But man, both these teams scored some runs in that series, and yeah, Sonny D, my guy, the softball player, homered again yesterday. The dude he can just absolutely. I don't understand why I don't understand why anybody ever pitched to the guy. There's that rest of that lineup isn't that good. He was like the only guy that had hits yesterday. He was the only. I think the only hit actually that the starting pitcher gave up from Oregon State was the home run to Sonny D.
Yeah,
like,
pitch around.
Quit throwing that guy pitches, dude. You might want to pitch around him and let somebody else in that lineup beat you.
I'm mad at myself. I really felt Auburn was going to win, which they did 4-3, and I had asked you, and you were like, well, Oregon State's really good, and they're at home. But I just had this feeling about Auburn. Did not play that one. The other game, by the way, Stanford doubled up Connecticut 10-5 to advance. So, again, you got Stanford in there. You have Notre Dame in there. You get these high, academic institutions here. Certainly good athletic schools. Boy, Stanford seems like every year they win that all-inclusive deal with all the sports combined. I don't know what kind of point system they have for that, but Stanford, there's so many sports that they excel in that nobody even has at their school.
Well, they're women's
water
sports,
polo,
women's sports
diving, things of that nature.
So the 2-seed Stanford gets in, 5-seed Texas A&M, and 9-seed Texas. That's the only 3 top 10 seeds that get in. You have more unseeded teams than top 10 teams.
Yeah, and again, it shows how strong the SEC is in every sport. But this year in baseball, with 4 in, Tennessee not being one of them, and then 2 future SEC schools in Oklahoma and Texas.
We do have a correct answer in our Humdinger's trivia. The question, which 2 guys have made more than 7 3-pointers in an NBA Finals game? It's funny because if you look at the list, there's a ton of 7 3-point performances. And, of course, Steph Curry's got a couple of those in this series. But there's only 2 that have ever gotten more than 7. One of those is Steph Curry. He had a 9 3-pointer performance that came in 2018 against Cleveland. And then the other player that has gotten more than 7 3-pointers is Ray Allen.
Yeah, I knew it.
Ray Allen did it when he was playing for Boston against the LA Lakers back in 2010. He made 8 3-pointers in that game. Those are the only 2 guys who have ever made more than 7, but there are 11 guys who have made 7 threes in the game. Steph Curry's done that a bunch of times, and then there's a bunch of other guys who have done it. But congratulations to our winner. You will be notified to letting you know that you are the winner and how to get your prize.
I knew Curry had done it, and then it was just a guess on my part. I'm saying to myself, I think it's Ray Allen, but I couldn't remember at all whether he did that or not. Just threw it out there. I mean, it's a good guess anytime you throw like Ray Allen or or Reggie Miller or something like that. James Gaddis Jewelers, second hour sponsor, Sports 56 Mornings, 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. You can call them at 901-767-9648. For the ladies out there who are listening, it's Father's Day on Sunday. And how about a nice, beautiful watch from James Gaddis Jewelers for your hubby, for the father of your children? Yes, we get one day a year, and it's this Sunday. So why not take advantage of it and get something great for your husband at James Gaddis Jewelers? But all year long, of course, it's all about the ladies. And whether you're getting that beautiful engagement ring or a bracelet of some sort, necklace, gemstones, and they have all types of gemstones, it's James Gaddis Jewelers. Estate and vintage jewelry, which they're always adding to their collection. It's James Gaddis Jewelers. They know that there's a lot of competition out there, so they make sure that there is a price point to suit everyone's budget. They're thinking about all the look, everybody doesn't come in with the same amount of money to spend, and they want to make sure they have something for you, and they do. They are your bridal, engagement, and anniversary jeweler headquarters. So if you are looking to get engaged this summer, make sure that James Gaddis Jewelers is one of the jewelers that you check out. James is a diamondologist. He's graded by the Gemologist Institute of America. He has all the credentials. He's also a master jeweler and a certified appraiser. So if you need something appraised, head on into James Gaddis Jewelers. They'll buy your gold and silver. There's all types of layaway and financing available. So if you don't think you can afford to get that piece of jewelry, this just in, you can. It's James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar, on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. We'll get to your calls and texts on the AutoZone listener lines when we return. You can call in or text in at 901-360-8255. Messages on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, on the website sports56whbq.com. We're going to get back into what we opened the show with, talking some Memphis Tigers basketball and some Grizzlies as well. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? If your lights seem dim, it's probably time to change them. We can help you do the job right. If you do decide to change your lights, we've got reliable replacement lights waiting for you. We've even got headlight restoration kits that can have your existing lights shining brighter. You can get whatever you need fast with our next day delivery or free same-day store pickup. Getting the job done just got easier. Restrictions apply.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's Handmade Vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand bottled, taste tested, sent to a few friends, then taste tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff. Just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com.
Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
The accident on I-55 heading from the city of Memphis into Arkansas. The accident has been cleared, but expect delays as a lot of cars are trying to use the 55 bridge. Also, we're still working an accident on Poplar between Peterson Lake and Main Street, dealing with an overturned vehicle there. And then we're dealing with that accident on I-240 North at Highway 385. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Halfway home on this Tuesday edition of Sports 56 Mornings. You got Greg Gaston, you got Eli Savoy, you got Zach Boyd. We're in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. If you missed it from earlier, our 5 favorite things topic for tomorrow, your 5 favorite rock bands of all time. Your 5 favorite rock bands, 5 favorite things brought to you by Bartlett Small Engine and East Memphis Ace Hardware.
On the College World Series, and I don't know who this guy is, but this there was a guy who was supposed to sing the national anthem at the College World Series for one of the sessions. But he's no longer going to be allowed to do so because at the Women's College World Series, he flashed the horns down sign. And so they have sent him a note saying that he will not.
Your services are no longer.
They had to go a different direction, as they said. So he is not allowed to sing the national anthem because he did the horns down. Zach Collier, I don't know who he is or whatever, but he posted the email he got from them telling him that he was no longer going to be. They called it due to the unsportsmanlike behavior shown after your performance at the Women's College World Series. We need to go a different direction. You are no longer scheduled to perform at Game 9 of the Men's College World Series. And he said...
Game 9? Do they do one for every single game? I thought they just did it for the session to begin the day.
Well, that would be the start of a session, so...
Game 9?
Well, sessions are 2 games.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you.
He said to what unsportsmanlike behavior are you referring to? And then the NCAA said, we have documented proof that he made offensive gestures and mockery of a participating team at the Women's College World
let's
Series.
not go overboard
And we
here.
do not feel comfortable allowing him to perform. Offensive gesture. They're calling horns down. They're saying that is an offensive
They're like,
gesture.
hey, listen.
And it's making a mockery. He made a mockery of Texas by giving them the horns down.
It's destroying the sanctity of college softball and baseball and NCAA. Look, the NCAA says, listen, if you just
corrosive to the sportsmanship of college softball.
If you just flip the bird like that Tennessee Vols baseball player, if you just flip the bird, a simple flipping of the bird, double bird, okay, we would have let you come back and sing. But you did horns down, man.
Offensive gesture?
Horns down.
Seriously?
I didn't realize Will's being strict about that.
I'd say.
Apparently he offended a lot of people.
If you want to sing the national anthem, do not be giving the horns down sign to the Texas folks. I wonder if Texas wasn't at the College World Series, would he still not be allowed to perform, or is it because Texas is there?
That's an interesting point.
Does that have anything to do with, does it become less offensive if Texas isn't actually at the College World Series?
I think it does. I think it does.
But it's somebody did in the past to Texas, so who does it matter if this time?
Did anybody were people complaining about it? Was there a big deal made of it? Are they responding to a big deal that was made of it?
Made a mockery of them.
Well, according to the NCAA, but is that what people were saying? I think I'm not saying he would not have been banned, but having Texas play in the College Baseball World Series kind of emphasizes that we're not going to let this guy sing.
I don't know if he's like an Oklahoma fan or if he's I wonder who he's a fan of.
Who cares? You get another guy or another woman, replace him. No big deal. Another former Seinfeld guest star has passed away. A guy named Philip Baker Hall. People probably won't know the name. The guy was 91 years of age, but he played Mr. Bookman. Remember the librarian?
Mm-hmm.
He stole the scene, man. That one show with Seinfeld, I thought he was fantastic. But we've had a number of Seinfeld character actors bite the dust here in the last year. I don't mean to be like that, but, they've died. Mrs. Costanza's died. Mrs. Seinfeld.
They're all old.
Mr. Bookman.
I mean, they were
the guy that played.
They were all old in the show.
I know.
The show was on a long time ago.
I hate it, man, because I still watch. I've watched every one about 1 million times, and I'll watch it in the afternoons. Oh, it's on TBS. I'll watch it, and they're still the age they were when they started in the early '90s. But then they're like 90 dying. Just sad to see some of these. I mean, they were all good, man. They were all fantastic. All right. So we started the show talking about Memphis Tigers basketball. And for those just tuning in that did not hear the news from yesterday, a couple of things. Kerwin Walton, the North Carolina transfer, decides to go to Texas Tech. He picked Texas Tech over Memphis and Clemson. I thought he was going to come to Memphis. I was wrong about that one. I didn't guarantee anything, but I really did think Memphis would get him. And I do believe that, Kerwin Walton, who said he saw the situation as being able to contribute right away. I think he would have certainly contributed right away to Memphis as well, but just maybe simply a better situation he thought overall to go to Texas Tech, and that is his prerogative. Who am I to say you should have come to Memphis? And I won't say that. But I do believe that there has been, maybe not in this situation, but maybe negative recruiting going up against Memphis and going against Penny and the IARP and the penalties that await Memphis, because they are missing out on a lot now. They got Kendrick Davis and they got some other guys, but all these shooters that they've missed out on, and there's been a number of them, and some of these schools that they've picked over Memphis, and you just wonder, really? I mean, is it as simple as them just wanting to go to these other places or just thinking they're a better opportunity than Memphis? And they may very well be thinking that way, but I still believe that it's pretty easy if you're in a recruiting battle for a player, if you're going up against Memphis, to use the negative recruiting. And they wouldn't be the first. And a lot of schools have done that over the years. I just think when Penny gets his mitts on somebody, he gets these guys. And so they are still without shooting other than Davis. And again, to me, I still believe they're going to add a player or two. I just know it's getting a little bit thinner in the portal. There's still a lot of bodies, but not necessarily quality bodies. And you don't want to pick up people just to pick up people. But the problem is if you don't have enough shooting options on the outside, at least the threats of outside shooting, then with Kendrick Davis, my game plan is, all right, we'll double him. Every time he gets the ball top of the key, we're doubling him. We're letting somebody else beat us. And right now you look at that Memphis roster, and you go, who are the shooters? Nolly's gone. Harris is gone. Quinones is gone. Who are the shooters? DeAndre Williams isn't going outside and popping threes. It's probably Jaden Hardaway, for goodness sakes. He's an average backup player.
Some text messages on the AutoZone listener line, 901-360-8255. David said, do we really want Jaden and Malco to be playing significant minutes? Lord help us.
Right, that's a very fair question.
Raider Corey says, so the Tigers need shooters, but using air quotes, didn't have room for Tyler Harris.
Yeah.
Which, in my opinion, is evident that Lester staying in the draft was a surprise to Penny. I'm getting concerned about the roster.
Yeah, I didn't get the whole Harris thing. I never understood that, unless there was some kind of friction that we didn't know about behind closed doors. It doesn't make sense. Harris, first, again, a guy who went into last year as a walk-on, coming back to Memphis from Iowa State. And we looked at that lineup before the season. We looked at that roster before the season. We go, how's that guy going to play? He ain't going to play. Well, not only did he play, he saved them in a couple of games and was one of their top 3 or 4 best players. And so Penny's prerogative. I've said it before. I had no problem with Penny wanting to go the portal route as opposed to the high school route. Now, usually you see a mixture. You don't usually see one or the other. But he has his ways and wants to do something a certain way. I'm not going to argue with that. The problem is now, again, you're running into guys I still believe are looking at the totality of it and go, wait a minute, is Memphis going to go on probation? And we don't know if they will, but I think it's being held against them in recruiting battles.
Another texter says Tigers are in bad trouble with the roster, only having one shooter. Reggie says it's ridiculous that it takes the IARP this long to decide punishment on any team. It's taking them longer to make a decision on punishment than it took to investigate. Teams are being indirectly punished because, in my opinion, they're losing out on players that they would normally have the opportunity to get. Come on, Maine, make a decision. Well, they're not even to the decision part yet. They haven't had the hearing. There still is a hearing that has to take place. So we're not just waiting for punishment. We're waiting on them to actually have the hearing, and then you get to the punishment phase after the hearing.
They're going to have a decision, but before the season, it is going to happen. But it has been a long process. It's always a long process, and there are a lot of delays and things of that nature. So, yeah, I understand Reggie's frustration.
Again, you could figure out a lot of the reasons why and understaffed, and of course, this is all happening during the pandemic and everything else that this was all going on. But the NCAA doesn't move real fast on anything. And while it's this is the IARP, it's still it's all under the NCAA umbrella, and they have wiretaps with coaches that they haven't done from 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever it was, and they still haven't done any of that. And that that's right there in black and white for you. So it's the NCAA, the arms of justice in the NCAA. It's a slow process,
and it feels like they closed shop during the height of COVID. They just closed shop. Nothing. Was done.
They did because everybody else did.
Yeah, so there was nothing done. So you lose that almost
you
2
couldn't
years.
go onto campuses and do investigations or do interviews and stuff because you couldn't. You weren't allowed to do so.
The other piece of news involving Memphis that was reported yesterday is that Penny will add the veteran Frank Haith to his coaching staff, which brings up a lot of interesting questions. One, does that mean Larry Brown is done, or will Larry Brown still be on staff? Will Larry Brown be in the same position if he is on staff? Frank Haith, the former Tulsa head coach who stepped down after 8 seasons at Tulsa, was the 2020 American Conference Coach of the Year, was the 2012 National Coach of the Year at Mizzou. He has had his run-ins with the NCAA, recruiting rules violations at Missouri and Miami. So you would think a Memphis program that's dealing with the NCAA and all that, they hired Larry Brown, and then they hired Frank Haith. But again, now that there is NIL and everything seems to be, for the most part, above board, I have no problem with it, and I think Frank Haith is a good coach. The matchup zone defense that he runs, that's an option for Penny, who likes to run the man-to-man defense, but that would give him that option as well. So, if the reports are all true, and they seem to be, I like the addition of Frank Haith. But again, it's interesting that the last couple of coaches have had their share of run-ins with the NCAA in their history.
And Frank Haith may be able to be a mediator in the Rick Barnes-Penny Hardaway relationship.
I doubt
it, but he could. He worked for Rick, so maybe he could he can bring those two guys together and have a little kumbaya session.
And again, we talked about this earlier as was reported by Jason Munz at the Commercial Appeal. I think he had it first. Kenny Payne, the Louisville coach, said he wants to wait a few years to possibly start a home-and-home series with Memphis. So that's not going to be coming on the schedule here in the near future, but down the road, it very well could happen. Taylor Jenkins agrees to a new multi-year contract as coach of the Memphis Grizzlies. The draft is a week from Thursday, and of course, last night, Golden State grabbed a 3-2 series lead over Boston with a 104-94 win. If you want to talk about these topics or any others, hit us up on the AutoZone listener line by calling in or texting in at 901-360-8255.
Keith says Penny has some shooters that haven't played much.
Who? Who are the shooters?
There's we have no evidence of that.
Who are the shooters?
I mean, unless Jonathan Lawson is like some great shooter, but who's on the roster that hasn't played much?
Well, they haven't unleashed the Kraken yet. Connor Glennon.
I mean, there's not many guys on this roster that are currently on the roster that we haven't seen play much, other than Jonathan Lawson.
So they got the kid from Texas Arlington, who's a shot blocker, not a scorer. He's not a shooter. They picked up McCadden from Georgia Southern, who is not a shooter per se. Is that it? And then, of course, Kendrick Davis is. They have back in the fold. I mean, Camden's gone too. Another guy I couldn't wait to see play. Back in the fold, DeAndre Williams, not a shooter. He's not going outside beyond the arc and knocking down threes. Certainly not Malco. If Lomax comes back, not him. Jaden could shoot the three ball okay. Chandler is not a three-ball shooter. Jonathan, I don't think he is. I think he's more a playmaker, a 1-2 combo guard. We talked to his father, Keelan, who was on the show recently. Who else is on the team? Am I running out of – is there anybody left?
Just walk-ons.
I feel like I'm missing somebody. I mean, Minot's gone. I mean, yeah, right now I would say there's trouble in River City, but I still think he's going to end up like a couple of guys nobody knows about. He's going to end up getting them. As long as there's options of guys that can shoot 35% or better from three, maybe not even, great, but the options there, the threats there, it will loosen things up for Kendrick Davis.
Moving can be stressful, But Black Tie Moving will take some of that stress and worry out of the process for you. You know, you could trust them to take care of your things, your belongings, getting them where they're going, doing it safely and securely. And they'll do it at a great price. They'll make sure they sit down with you, come up with a plan fitting your needs, fitting your budget, you get a no obligation quote up front. You get your own moving concierge available 24/7 to you to answer any questions. That's what you get with Black Tie Moving. But the most important thing is they're just going to take care of you and your belongings and make sure that you don't have any issues in getting to your new place, whether it's across town or across country. It doesn't matter whether it's your home or office, whatever it is. Black Tie Moving will take care of your belongings. You can give them a call, 901-316-6196. Again, 901-316-6196. Or you can go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. Don't try and do it yourself. That just adds a whole bunch of worry that you don't need. Call the folks at Black Tie Moving.
You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You have opinions?
You bet.
Of course you do. Everyone does. Hit us up on the AutoZone listener line, 360-8255, 360-8255.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
If you have damage to your home and have your insurance carrier involved, you need a great contractor. You also need a team that has seen claims of all shapes and sizes, residential or commercial. After our inspection, we'll share our findings and give you our professional opinion. Some people say you get what you pay for. However, our opinion is free. Trust the name you can depend on, like the tens of thousands of families Brian and I have served over the past 20 years here in the Mid-South. Brian Elder Roofing. We'll measure your roof from outer space and share our team's experience for your property and claim. Repaired roofs, replacement roofs, big roofs, tiny roofs, insurance roofs, flat roofs, TPO roofs, asphalt roofs, tile roofs, slate roofs, metal roofs. If your roof needs some love, call me. 901-867-0303 for Brian Elder Roofing and Contracting.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Now that the warmer weather has arrived, let Choate's perform their $99 20-point AC tune-up to get your AC ready for the hot summer months ahead. Also, Choate's is offering our half-off 1 pound of Freon coupon on our website for you to use. Does your HVAC system need to be replaced? If so, right now is an excellent time to take advantage of Carrier's 60 months, no-interest financing on select systems. Want to improve your indoor air quality? Choate's is also offering our new APCO air purifier for $100 off when you get your air ducts cleaned. UV technology sterilizes biological contaminants and neutralizes odors and toxic VOCs. Match that technology with getting your air ducts cleaned, and you'll have the indoor air quality your family needs. Better call 347-8086 today. These specials won't last long. Turn to the experts with Choate's and let our family serve your family.
Hi, everybody. Greg Gaston for FanDuel. Add a little excitement to your sports watching experience by betting on all the action on FanDuel Sportsbook. There's a reason why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Their app is simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique fun bet types like same-game parlays, and exclusive always-on promotions such as enhanced odds boosts on the biggest events to let you get more action out of every game day. And if you win, they even get you your winnings safely in as little as 24 hours. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started, and be sure to sign up with promo code GASMAN so they know I sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code GASMAN. Must be 21 or over and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit is required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable site credit that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions do apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call Tennessee Redline at 1-800-889-9789.
Getaway Sports Bar, the best kept secret in town, open noon to 1:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Garvin, the owner, created this SEC NFL Dream Bar over 20 years ago. You'll never miss a minute of action. 10 TVs, 5 70-inch TVs for all the big games. Rack them up on 6 pool tables. Coldest beer in town, grab you a pool stick and get you some good bar grub. 100% Angus burgers, big and moist chicken tenders. Daily happy hour Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. with long neck domestics, $2.25. Getaway Sports Bar, 4632 Winchester.
Hey, I got one of my best customers, Mark, here.
Hey, Montana.
Hey, Mark, tell Sports 56 fans the deal of the century that I gave you at Sleep Cheap.
Yeah, I just bought the whole family some new mattresses. Our backs thank you. Easy professional people to work with, good quality mattresses and box springs, and they under-promised and over-delivered. We got the Sports 56 deal, the hybrid mattress and box springs regularly $1,000 for $599, and the wife and I got the king-size mattress normally $1,500 for $999.
Mark, it was a pleasure working with you. Glad you and your family are happy with the quality of our memory foam. Now I'm extending this manager suite deal to my fellow Sports 56 fans. Check out our 3 locations, 6330 Winchester, Memphis, 1069 Goodman Road in Horn Lake, and West Memphis, 1701 North Missouri Street. Also wanted to let you know Sleep Cheap mattress sets starting at $199 to $4,000. We have twin XLs, queen, king, California king, we got it all. And again, guys, take advantage of this sweet Sports 56 hybrid mattress queen box deal. Normally $1,000, we got it for $599. We also have the king, normally $1,500, selling for $999. See y'all at Sleep Cheap.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Charlotte Hornets forward Montrezl Harrell facing a felony drug charge after authorities said they found vacuum-sealed bags of marijuana in his car during a traffic stop. He was pulled over in Richmond, Kentucky by a state trooper. That was on May 12th for driving behind a vehicle too closely. The trooper said he smelled marijuana, and after a search, discovered 3 pounds of marijuana in vacuum-sealed bags inside a backpack in the back seat. He could face up to 5 years in prison. I'm going to bet he doesn't get prison time, but he could face that.
Well, I would certainly hope you're not getting 5 years in prison for having marijuana, but that's just me.
It is Kentucky.
A texter says, Petty better beg Bates to come back.
I would take Bates back if I could. I would take him back.
I don't know what is taking him so long to make an announcement.
I don't know. Don't you start to feel that maybe like the dad is really... He's like Papa Geppetta. He's controlling all the strings, and this kid is confused. I'm starting to worry about he's falling into the trap of some of those great athletes that had those overbearing family members, that ruined them. Some succeeded, but like Todd Marinovich's father and others. I mean, obviously Earl Woods was hard on Tiger, but look what happened to Tiger. Richard Williams on Serena and Venus, and they became so. Some are able to become stars because of that constant pressure from the father or the mother or a loved one, but some just succumb to it. I don't know. I'm a little worried about that with Amani.
Well, certainly I don't think his dad did him any favors in his high school career with the, not setting him up to play against the top competition, all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I still haven't heard anything different. That it seems like it's still supposed to be Louisville. Like everybody seems to believe it's going to be Louisville, but he just hasn't made that announcement. So I don't really know what exactly is going on.
Well, Kenny Payne wants him. I know that.
Reggie texted and asked me, I guess is telling me that I should sign up to play for the Tigers. I do have eligibility left, but just don't think I'm suited for that team. I don't think Penny's going to like my defensive abilities.
I thought you played really well defensively in the church leagues. You took flops. You'd be perfect for today's basketball.
Well, there is the one thing that the one defensive skill I have is definitely rewarded these days in basketball. That is flopping. But I don't really want to go back to school either. I don't feel like taking classes. So I don't know.
Most of them don't. No, I'm kidding. I kid.
Not worth my time there. So I'm gonna pass. But hey Reggie, I appreciate you looking out for me and for the team and all that stuff. But I'm not sure I'm the right fit at this time in my life.
So Golden State's win last night they did so without Steph Curry knocking down a three, and that broke the streak, an NBA best run of 233 straight games with a made three. That's just nuts when you think about it. A night where there's really, defense is glued on you, they're double teaming you, maybe a night you don't feel that well health-wise, still knocks down a three. 233, but last night it ended 0 for 9 from Triplevania.
When on going back to the Humdingers trivia question, we talk about Steph Curry, never been Finals MVP, all that stuff. Steph Curry has 7 NBA Finals games where he's made at least 7 threes. The only other person that has more than one is Ray Allen, who has 2.
Greatest shooter ever.
So
he's had some great shooters over the years.
You could talk about he hasn't been great in the finals. He hasn't won the MVP. Dude has 7 games of at least 7 threes in the finals.
Exactly. Save it. Save that whole discussion about, well, he hasn't done that, so I don't know how great he is. He's great. He could have easily been a series MVP. He could be this time and probably will. I would say definitely will if they win. There's people who say they should be the MVP if they lose. That's not going to happen. But, yeah, he is this just in. He's great. We'll go yard all June long with $5 Dinger Tuesdays on FanDuel Sportsbook. This season, all customers will get $5 for every home run hit by both teams when you place a $25 to hit a home run wager on Tuesday Major League Baseball games. And the best part about Dinger Tuesdays is even if your bet loses, FanDuel will pay you $5 for every home run. I got a weird feeling. Usually I go to Aaron Judge, which is a good choice. Kyle Schwarber, the Philly, the usual suspects. I think Tyler O'Neill is going to go long today for the Cardinals against the Pirates, I should say. And that's game 1 of their doubleheader. They're playing a day-night doubleheader, 12:15, game 1, Tyler O'Neill, assuming he's in the lineup. Home run for the Cardinals versus the Pirates today. So what are you waiting for? Pick your home run hitter, turn big swings into big wins. There's no better place to bet America's pastime than on America's #1 sportsbook. Head over to your FanDuel account or download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Sign up using promo code GASMAN. That's promo code GASMAN. Must be 21 or over, present in Tennessee. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max bonus $25. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call Tennessee Redline at 1-800-889-9789. Steve Sands from the Golf Channel on NBC is next as we open up hour number 3, right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Folks, good news for bargain hunters and bandits from the Chevy Sheriff in Collierville. Sunrise Chevy has over 500 Chevys and used cars in stock just in time for the Sunrise Low Price Rodeo. Credit not so hot? It's okay. Sunrise specializes in secondary financing and wants to get you financed. Need a good body shop? Bring it to Sunrise. We work on all makes and models. Remember, you can bring your Chevy to Sunrise for repairs or service no matter where you bought it. Buy American and buy from Sunrise. Find new roads to sunrisememphis.com. 385 in Houston, Levy, and Collierville. Chevy's costless at Sunrise, partner.
Belly Acres' motto is City-Fied Farm Fresh. The goal is simple: provide a fun, unique farm-to-table experience for the whole family. 2 great locations, Regalia at 6130 Poplar and in Overton Square at 2102 Trimble Place. Overton Square hours Sunday through Thursday 11A to 9P, Friday and Saturday 11A to 10P. Regalia Sunday through Thursday 10:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 10:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. Signature burgers are made from 100% grass-fed beef. Sandwiches, salads, and the best milkshakes anywhere. The burgers, so good, like the Daria or the Double Daria, and the melt in your mouth. And you have to try the Voodoo Moo Moo. It is the quality brand the Belly Acres team has developed using grass-fed beef with creative homemade toppings in a fun farm setting right here in the city. The goal at Belly Acres? To become even more sustainable as they grow. In Overton Square and in Regalia, the very best quality available in Memphis, burger shakes and smiles at Belly Acres.
Mayor Jim Strickland and the Memphis Office of Youth Services present the Mid-South Golden Gloves Regional Boxing Tournament, June 24th and 25th at the Pipkin Building, 940 Early Maxwell. For ticket information, call 901-636-6264.
So, as you graduate and head out into the world, there's only one thing that you need to know. Hi, this is Jamie from Progressive. Yeah, I can talk now. Progressive protects you 24/7. So, tell me what happened. Oh, I'm sorry, Gene. Can you give me 1 second? Brush that for every meal. Congratulations and thank you. Sorry about that. I'm back. So tell me about this fender bender.
Contact us 24/7 on the phone, online, or on the mobile app. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Covered subject to policy terms.
Hey, Jeff Allen, I'm ready to get my Kia on. What's happening over on Mount Moriah at Gossett Kia South?
Hey, I know the car business is crazy right now, but we got them on the lot ready to ride. I've got a 2022 Kia Forte LXS $210 a month. 2022 Kia Soul LX $223 a month. Both 36-month lease and $27.99 due at signing. Plus 2022 Kia Sorento LX $315, 36-month lease and $34.99 due at signing.
And Jeff, your Kias are always equipped with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia, Mount Moriah.
2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com. All 36-month leases, $650 acquisition fee, $30,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, 0 security deposit. Forte, $89.89, $848, MSRP $20,770, sold in $78, $68, $67, MSRP $20,880. Sorrento, NG $128, $223, MSRP $31,980. Must finance through Kia plus tax Highland license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/5/22. Dealer stock only. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah. Sports 56 traffic.
We're still working an accident on Poplar between Peterson Lake and Main Street. It's an overturned vehicle there. That's Poplar between Peterson Lake and Main. Also, still working an accident on I-240 north at Highway 385. We got a new accident here on I-240 east at Mill Branch Road. The right shoulder is blocked there. Keep it right here. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Okay, this car looked great wrapped around you,
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Body's a temple, that's what we're told.
Welcome back, everybody. Final hour for us today here on Sports 56 Mornings. It has been an eventful day, and it should be a very good hour. It's always great to talk golf and much, much more with our buddy Steve Sands. It's interesting because golf is really not a contact sport other than the club on the ball. And it's not that they're fist fighting or anything, but man, the war of words that's going on. It's almost like the weigh-ins with a heavyweight title fight or an MMA event, as LIV and the LIV Tour has just caused so much chaos. And now all you're hearing is the players on the one side versus the players on the other side. And lo and behold, we have the U.S. Open this week from Brookline, Massachusetts, where our friend Steve Sands is. He joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Of course, Steve from the Golf Channel on NBC. Mr. Sands, how are you today?
Greg, how are you, buddy? Good to talk to you from here at Brookline. I'm walking the 9th fairway right now with the great Mike Tirico.
Oh, man. Mike, let me tell you a quick story about Mike Tirico. Maybe I've told
Quick
you this
story
before.
about Mike. Here we go.
Quick story about Mike. We were doing our coverage of the FedEx St. Jude Championship, and ESPN/ABC, I guess, had it. This is years ago. And Michael Eaves, who's on ESPN now, and myself, we hosted the post-round events, like a little show. And Mike Tirico was kind enough to one time come in and sit with us for about 20 minutes right after he called.
How was he as a guest?
He's one of my favorite. Look, he is one of my favorite broadcasters there is, period. I loved him from day one that I saw him. I think he's absolutely terrific. He's maybe not up in your company, Steve, but I'm kidding. He's look.
Greg, you're not on speakerphone. You don't need to suck up the mic. It's okay. By the way, wait. Memory. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say, this is no sucking up. This guy's one, and Eli knows this. He's one of my favorite broadcasters. Ask him if he remembers.
I'm going to ask him right now.
Okay.
So Michael Eaves was in Memphis. Yeah. Greg Gaston was hosting a post-round show at the FedEx St. Jude Championship many, many moons ago when you were with ABC, and you were kind enough to go on as a guest with Greg and Michael after the show. Mike, like Nicholas could tell you, the third shot he hit at 16 at Muirfield in 66 in the third round. Mike can remember every single thing. By the way, you know what else Mike remembers?
What's that?
Mike remembers that 31 years ago when I sent you a tape at WMDT, the ABC affiliate in Salisbury, Maryland, and you did not even have the gall to call or write back? Mike is appalled by that. And if he knew that, he wouldn't have gone on your post-game show.
It just makes you wonder if Mike had sent in a tape, would he have called him back?
I thought about it, Steve. I didn't call anybody back. No, did he remember?
Greg said he didn't call me back because he was too busy looking at your 3/4-inch tape.
Does he remember that? Yes or no?
Mike absolutely remembers going on the post-game show with you guys in Memphis, with you and Michael. He said 1,000%.
That's incredible. Anyway,
he said the night before. He just said the night before he flew the FedEx simulator the night before when you guys had that show.
Oh, really? You know what? All these years here and all the people I know from FedEx, I've always wanted to do that, and I never have. How cool was that? I'm sure.
Greg said he's been working in Memphis for 100 years. He's never done the simulator. He's always wanted to, and here you come once a year into town, and you get to do it. Yeah. If by the way, Mike just said, he literally, I'm not kidding. He just said, if you would have just called me back in '91, he would have gotten you hooked up at the simulator at FedEx.
Man, the things I missed out on. I want to do over, Steve. We want to hire you now here. It's not TV, it's radio now, but we want to hire you.
Neither one of us want to do over in Salisbury, by the way.
All right, so I don't even know where the hell to start with this thing, but has it really gotten out of hand? Like, did you think it was going to be this crazy?
I did not 6 months ago. And then 3 months ago, I thought it would be. And then a couple of weeks ago, I thought, this thing might be put to bed. And now it's all ratcheted up. And that's pretty much all anybody's talking about in the world of golf at the highest level.
So Rory's comment today as he met the media in Brookline, last week in Canada, talking about his win. He had a great weekend. Right. He had a great week. He said, LIV will never have that. Last week meant something. What they were doing over there meant nothing. I mean, he has become the poster child for the PGA Tour versus LIV.
Yeah, he really has. And look, if you're the PGA Tour, last week was a dream scenario. You have Rory McIlroy, who pretty much carries the flag for the PGA Tour with his play and also his words, his demeanor, the way he goes about his business. He's a wonderful guy, as I've told you guys in the past. And then you have Justin Thomas, you have Justin Rose almost shooting a sub-60 round. You have Sam Burns in the mix. It was a dream scenario for the PGA Tour last week up in Toronto. But we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. But without question, if you're going to answer the LIV Golf first week with that, then clearly the PGA Tour had a very good weekend.
How, when they're now back around each other this week, and you got guys from both sides of this, how uncomfortable you think it is on the range or in the locker room?
It's a great question, Eli. I don't think it's uncomfortable because I think at the end of the day, I think most of the guys, even if they disagree with the guys who took the money and went to LIV, I don't think they begrudge them for that. They just disagree with it. And I don't think it's an uncomfortable thing on the practice putting green or the range. Mike and I first got out here. We're on the third hole. We walked over to number 4. First group we saw playing a practice round today was Louis Oosthuizen, Brandon Grace, a couple of South Africans who are world-class players, and a couple of other guys playing in their group. And listen, we talked to Louis and Brandon. The first thing we talked to them about, and their caddies, about what it was like last week to play in the LIV Golf event and what the atmosphere was like, what the competition was like, what it's been like around their peers, around their sponsors. It's not uncomfortable. The guys who are taking the money and doing it, they just want to play golf and get paid. They're not looking at it as a moral issue. Mm-hmm. They're not looking at it as any other thing to them, as anything other than being a business decision. That's strictly business to these people.
So I listened and watched Jay Monahan on with Jim Nantz on CBS's coverage. I didn't think he came off great, to be honest with you. I know he was making the point, and he's trying to, certainly be there for the PGA Tour. That's his job, but I didn't think he came off great. He sounded like a czar who was pissed that there's competition. But the other thing is, I noticed on Mike's old network, on ESPN, that in the crawl and when they give the golf results and all that, there's nowhere there that they have LIV. And then I watched NBC, and their scrolling yesterday. This was a replay from the weekend, but they had all the golf results. This is on the Golf Channel. All the results from all the different tours, Champions Tour, Korn Ferry, whatever, LPGA. They didn't have live. So is this something like it's like you guys are told, like the networks are told not to cover these guys at all?
No, there's never been a communication as far as that goes. Look, it's a tricky spot. You know, we are partners with the PGA Tour.
Right.
You know, CBS, NBC, Golf Channel, ESPN Plus, partners with the PGA Tour. So it's a little bit of a tricky spot. But at the end of the day, I hate using that phrase, but I've used it twice already. But at the end of the day, the Golf Channel has to decide what it wants to do journalistically, news-wise, and clearly this is the number one topic in all of golf right now, especially at the highest level. And the Golf Channel has spent a lot of time talking about it, maybe ad nauseum, but they have to. And the news people are doing a great job. The reporters are doing a great job. The analysts and the hosts are doing the best they can to try to explain this all to the audience and also give their own opinion when it warrants, which is what an analyst does. As far as showing the scores, let's see how that all develops. I think that as this moves along, they're going to have to acknowledge the scores more often. But for last week, I guess someone at the higher up level decided not to show the scores, and that's fine. It's all a decision that's made way above our pay grade, Greg. You guys know that. But it's a very, very tricky spot for companies who are partnered with the tour as to what to do. Is it news? Is it not news? Are we feeding them the energy, or are we supposed to stay away from it? It's a very strange time in the world of golf.
What is the conversation out there? Is the belief that the defections are kind of done for now, or is there still thought that there's going to be more guys that leave this year?
No, they're still coming, Eli. I think everybody wanted to get to this week, get to the U.S. Open. Billy Horschel walking by. Talking to our sports radio in Memphis, Billy Horschel, a FedEx Cup champion. Say hello to Memphis.
Hi, Memphis.
Hey, Billy. Congratulations on your win a couple weekends ago. Yeah.
FedEx playoff first one.
There's nothing in the world more comfortable than Memphis in August, Billy, right? he grew up in Florida. He did it good.
Hey, there's nothing more uncomfortable than June in Memphis. We're dying over here.
No, we can't wait to get to Memphis. We're just kidding. But Billy just walked by. I figured we'd let him say hello. He's a good dude. We're standing between the 9th green and the 10th tee, so I apologize. But anyway, so
wait. Can I say this? By the way, to our listeners out there, this is what you get with Mr. Sands. You get a Mike Tirico cameo. You get a Billy Horschel jumping on live radio. But anyway, continue.
It's like name dropping, right?
It is.
So Eli, I think what's going to happen is, I think the scariest part of this, Eli, and maybe you agree or disagree, I'm not sure. The slow drip is real bad for the PGA Tour. Everybody knows that the people who decided to play in it last week, that was the first one. And then there were a couple of more guys announced. And now this week, everybody talked to Bryson DeChambeau yesterday and Patrick Reed yesterday for the first time. They've announced already. And I think after the U.S. Open is done, or maybe later this week, I think a couple of more guys, Eli, are going to decide to go over to Live Golf. I don't think this is ending anytime soon.
Here's the part that I'm confused about with the whole thing, though, is, all right, so their whole thing is a 48-man field. And it's like, hey, last place gets $120,000. So why,
right.
Andy Ogletree doesn't break 75, gets $120,000. Well, but if guys keep going, that means some guys can't be in the tournament. They're not going to make any money because they can't be in the tournament. There's only 48 guys.
Correct. That's a very, very good point. We were talking about this at dinner last night. For some of these big-name guys, Bryson and Patrick, who did not play last week, who will play in Portland in a couple of weeks, well, they're going to bounce two guys out of that 48-man field, Eli. And I think that certain contracts over there have language that say something to the effect of 3.5 years. 3.5 meaning because we're already in the middle part of 2022, so that's why it would be a half. But say 3.5 years is what I was told. And other guys probably like the Andy Ogletrees who was a U.S. Amateur winner, but is never going to be a PGA Tour player. He's not that great a player. He's a very, very, very good player, but he's not at the level of playing on the PGA Tour. Same with James Piot, who's also a U.S. Amateur champion. They're basically cashing in on their U.S. Amateur status, winning that amazing championship, taking a little bit of the money, and then probably moving on with the rest of their lives as long as they can play. They're going to try to play as long as they can, but they know that they're week to week out there. Their contract does not say guaranteed 3.5 years. I can promise you that. So that's why you're getting the influx of these other guys who are going to replace, say, I don't mean the bottom two as if they're bad, but the bottom two players are going to get replaced, Eli, by Patrick Reed and Bryson DeChambeau. And I think you're going to continue to see that as this thing flushes itself out and makes its way, towards, getting a stronger field over in LIV. They're going to have those lower guys get out of the way.
And I don't know who's official and who's not, but like, is Pat Perez official yet? Has he announced it, or we just have his wife saying that he's going?
No, he's in.
He's
in.
And who else is in this?
Is Matthew Wolff?
Wolff, is he official yet?
He's not official, but he's going to go.
Because wasn't this a group of 6 guys? It was Reed, DeChambeau,
Fowler. What about Fowler?
Yeah, Ricky Fowler. What about him?
Fowler has been talked to a bunch. I think he's, probably at home with Allison, or maybe here, outside of Boston with Allison, his wife, deciding what's the best thing for them. He's in an interesting spot, fellas. His game isn't nearly as sharp as it was. He has, enjoyed an incredible standard of living based upon all the money that he has brought in with all of his sponsors. But those sponsors need him to play in the biggest events. He's an alternate this week. He was not in the Masters. He was not in the Players. And that's difficult, to continue to pay someone, even as popular and as great a guy as Ricky is, to continue to pay someone top sponsorship dollars, but have them not only on a leaderboard on Saturday or Sunday, but how about just being in the event? Yeah. So, Ricky is contemplating it, as he should. I think everybody, my father used to tell me all the time, you never turn down a job you haven't been offered. Mm-hmm. So to listen, I think, is important for these guys. And I think that Ricky's deciding what to do. It's a very, very difficult decision for someone like Ricky, who's such a good guy and wants to play on the PGA Tour. But right now his game isn't that sharp, and he's being offered a ton of money.
What about Bubba?
Oh, I think Bubba's going to go. I don't know that for a fact, but I think Bubba's going to go.
Well,
like Matthew Wolff, I think he's going to go.
Yeah, some of these guys are weighing the money that they're going to bring in over the loss of sponsorships over the years, and they've come to the conclusion, at least a lot of them that have, that it's worth the move to this tournament.
That'll far outweigh the dollars they receive from their sponsors, the upfront money they're receiving from LIV.
Is there any? What about sponsorships that are backing the LIV Tour? That some player like Puma. I wonder with Fowler, Puma's more like an international brand than it is just like from the States, and I wonder like what their company's thoughts are about dealing with the Saudi-backed tour.
Yeah, I think that corporations are in a interesting spot with this as well. A lot of corporations do business in Saudi Arabia. So the corporations that sponsor PGA Tour events and or sponsor players on the PGA Tour, some of them, maybe a lot of them, have business conducted with the Saudis. So that's an interesting spot as well. But, the sponsorship dollars, if you go away from the top 10 or 12 guys, they're big money compared to what we're doing. But It's not like it's the crazy, crazy, crazy money. And when you're being offered all that money up front, look, our youngest son, who's the only one we have left in the house he plays high school sports. He's a senior in high school. He plays high school football. He said to me for years, Dad, if I become a wide receiver in the NFL and I get drafted by the Cowboys and I play for the Cowboys, as much as you hate the Cowboys because you're DC and we're such big Skins fans, would you wear my jersey and root for me playing in Dallas? And I just looked at him and go, I hope you have 11 catches, 134 yards, and 3 touchdowns, and you get your heart broken by losing 35-34 every single game. And he would look at me and go, it's a hypothetical, Dad, so you can't really answer it. Well, and he's right.
Right.
So, of course, I can say that. My kid's not making the NFL. So he's a nice wide receiver in high school. He's not playing in the NFL.
Right.
So, like, I can say to him unequivocally, there's no chance in the world I would ever do that. So that's what this is. You know, it's the great hypothetical. You know, you, me, Eli, our audience, we can all play the morality card and all say, I'm not taking that money. No chance. But then if the envelope gets slid across the table and you're actually looking at it for real, that's a lot different.
Well,
that's not hypothetical. So when you're offered $90 or $100 million, guys, how do you turn that down?
Yeah, look, the money's relative. Somebody brought this question up yesterday, and I was asked again about it, 2 days ago, and I was asked about it again yesterday. I was playing golf. It's crazy, but they say, well, Greg, how about if you got $1 million is a lot for me. Now, for you and what you make, I mean, it's a whole different ballgame. But $1 million, Greg, to be the commentator for the 7 events on the Live Tour. I said, sign me up. For $1 million, I'm doing that. And then, I noticed I lost about 8 followers yesterday. I wonder if, Greg's back in the Saudis. No, I'm not. It's $1 million. It would really help the family out. So, again, it's relative to the money, but you're talking about boatloads, millions and millions and millions of dollars for these players as opposed to just maybe several million.
It's generational wealth. It's generational wealth. There are two sides of this. There really are. You either think that all money is dirty or you think that this is blood money. Right. And there's really no in between. And the guys have a tough decision to make. When they get that envelope slid across the table and they see 9 figures, that's a lot of money to turn down. Again, this isn't a hypothetical. If it's a hypothetical, you can beat your chest all you want and say there's no way I would ever do it. But if it's reality and someone's literally looking at you and saying, hey, here's $100 million to go play golf, these guys are professional golfers. They have a very difficult choice to make.
All right.
It's very tough.
So away from the Live Tour, we actually have the U.S. Open. What should we expect?
The sad part, Eli, is that everybody's talking about Live here, and here we are at the Country Club at Brookline in the U.S. Open, and I mean it's sad for the game. I think.
What kind of with this golf course, what type of players should we? I mean, obviously Rory's playing extremely well, and when Rory's playing well, he's hard to beat. But there's a lot of guys you could say that about. But what should we expect? What kind of golf course is this? What do you need to do well?
Tight, man. It is a small greens. I mean, really fast, really hilly golf course. Old school, old style, wonderful, wonderful venue. You'll be rewarded, Eli, for good shots, and you will be punished severely for bad ones. And look, if you can hit fairways and greens here, the U.S. Open is a classic, old school U.S. Open venue, and I love it. And the guys love it, and it's fair, it's firm, it's hard, it's a great test, but fair is the biggest thing. And I think that, as long as the USGA doesn't goof it up, and make greens too slick or something like that, put hole locations in regular spots, nothing ridiculous. This is going to be a fabulous, fabulous week.
All right, so who do you like as we get ready to say goodbye to you?
It's hard to go away from Rory McIlroy because of the way he played last week. The last time he won a major, he won the week before, which is 2014, a long time ago. But Rory's the kind of guy who, when he plays well, he piles it on. So if you're going to go heavyweights, I would say Rory, guy like John Rahm, guys like Justin Thomas. If you're going to go a little bit off the board, I was just talking to Tommy Fleetwood. Tommy Fleetwood has come close before in majors. He's come close at the U.S. Open at Shinnecock a couple years ago. Tommy, the harder the golf course, and this place is hard, the harder I mean difficult, I don't mean firm, I mean hard and difficult. The more difficult the golf course, the better it is for Tommy Fleetwood. If you're going to go a little bit off the board, I'll take a guy like Tommy Fleetwood. And then there's a local guy up here. He grew up in Vermont, massive, massive Boston sports fan. Keegan Bradley's won a major championship.
Yep.
He won his in Atlanta. It was a long time ago, but he's starting to play some better golf. And he loves this place and has played well here before and is familiar with it. And not very many guys are familiar with this golf course.
Any more cameos before we say goodbye? Anybody around?
Well, let's see here. Francesco Molinari's walking up the hill here at 10. There goes Justin Thomas. Nobody's going to come over. I kind of walked away so I'm not like in people's way talking to you guys and talking in their backswing.
Steve, by the way, you mentioned
the last thing I wanted. If I want to get yelled at, I'll just stay home. I don't want to be out here yelled at.
You briefly
There
brought
goes Scotty Scheffler and Sam Burns. I mean, this #1 player in the world. Does that count as a cameo?
Yeah, I was just going to ask you if Scheffler would be one of the picks too, because you didn't mention his name. I noticed.
Yeah. I mean, dude, how many guys win 2 majors in 1 year?
Yeah, I hear you.
You know, it's tough. Tough to pick him.
You mentioned the round that Justin Rose shot on Sunday. Like, the dude made 3 bogeys that shot a 60. Where's that round compared to some of the great rounds you've seen?
I mean, there was a secondary, Eli, where I thought, wow, we're going to see a 57 here. But
that's nuts.
You know, Roger Maltby once told me, Eli, one of the greatest lines I've ever heard in golf. Golf is only hard when you care. He's cruising along. He's going to shoot 57 or 58, and all of a sudden he's like, "Hey, I got a chance to shoot 57 or 58." Suddenly he makes 2 bogeys.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. It was a great round of golf, and it was amazing to watch. It was fun. It was entertaining. And then when he tightened up at the end, there's no other way to look at it, or there's no other way to describe it. It happens. He looked up and said, "Geez, I got a chance at history here," and he ended up. Coughing it up a little bit, but he should have shot 59. He was thinking about 57, 58, but he should have shot 59 at worse, Eli. You're right.
And he was thinking to that 57, 58. That was after he had already made a bogey on a par 5 that everybody else was birdieing.
Oh, it was crazy. He had 11 birdies at 15 holes. It's just crazy.
Plus, what has he done the last? I mean, he seemed to come out of nowhere. Anyway, look, we could talk all day. This guy's got to get back to work. You're the best, Steve. We appreciate it. Have fun this week at the Open. And look, we're getting closer to Memphis, and we're going to take you out. And we're looking forward to seeing you in person. It's been a long time.
No, I can't wait. It's been way too long. I'm looking forward to seeing you, Eli. I don't know if I can recognize you anymore, buddy. It's been so long.
When was the last time, by the way, that you were here?
The last time I was actually looking this up the other day. The last time I was in Memphis was 2007.
Wow.
So the last time I saw Steve was actually at Augusta for a brief minute or two because he was so busy when I was there on a practice round to just watch. Because I think that was maybe, I don't know, like in the 2012, something like that. But anyway,
somewhere around there.
Yeah,
but it's been a while since I've been in Memphis. I can't wait.
Looking forward to it. Have a great week.
All right, fellas, be good.
Thanks, Steve. That's cool. That's cool to get the cameos. Billy Horschel, I love you, Memphis.
They're lucky the tournament isn't here this week.
Well, I know. Hopefully, we've gotten lucky with weather the last few years, so maybe we'll get lucky again. But yeah, you're absolutely right.
It's this would be a little warm out there this week, and yes, hopefully we will get the break once again. That we've got in the last couple of years. Mid-South Ag Equipment, the place to go for all your equipment needs. The Case IH Farmall series of tractors, bush hog equipment, including those bush hog zero-turn lawnmowers. You'll find that and much, much more at Mid-South Ag Equipment, and they're easy to find. They're just south of Collierville on Goodman Road. If you take I-269 to the Goodman Road exit, they're just a half-mile west. So very simple, very easy to get to. Heck, you can see it from I-269 because of all of the equipment that they've got. They've got new equipment. They've got pre-owned equipment. They do service on your equipment as well. The Case IH Farmall Series, the best in the business. Versatile performers, great value as well is what you'll find with the Case IH Farmall Series of tractors. You can find them online as well. They're at MidSouthAg.com. They've got other locations as well where you can find great equipment with the folks at Mid-South Ag Equipment.
We got lots more to go. 30 more minutes of the show. If you'd like to comment, talk about anything that we've discussed already on the program, including the NBA Finals, Memphis Tigers basketball, the Grizzlies, and the new contract for Taylor Jenkins, or the U.S. Open and what Steve Sands had to say, hit us up. AutoZone listener lines available to you. You can call in or text in at 901-360-8255. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's time to vacation at home with Family Leisure. That's right. Enjoy a vacation in your own backyard with a little help from Family Leisure. Like play gyms and trampolines, they're now $500 off. And those trampolines, by the way, they've got that mesh on the side, so trampolines are now safe and you'll be the hit of the neighborhood. They've got hot tubs in stock and ready to go, and you can get up to $1,000 off when you pick them up. All kinds of do-it-yourself pool specials, like savings of up to $1,500 on all in-stock pools when you pick it up and install them yourself. And if you're looking for patio furniture, then stop on in, because they have tons in stock and they're ready for you to pick up. So get ready for that vacation at home with the help from Family Leisure. Family Leisure's Vacation at Home sale. It's happening right now at Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun truly do come together.
13 platinum records, over 65 million albums sold worldwide. This is Poison. Brett, Bobby, Cece, Ricky. The original lineup returns. Sunday, July 3rd, center stage at Silver Star Casino. Tickets on sale now. Visit PearlRiverResort.com. Don't miss the party of the year. Poison World Tour 2022.
Hey, Mid-South, looking for the perfect ride that's perfect for you? We got it at Gossett Kia on the Pike. And if you don't see exactly what you want, no problem, we can order it for you. Right now at Gossett Kia, get a 2022 Kia Forte LXS, $210 a month. 2022 Kia Soul LX, $219 a month. Both 36-month leases and $27.99 due at signing. And road trip ready SUV 2022 Kia Sorento LX, $315 a month, 36-month lease and $34.99 due at signing. And all Gossett Kias come equipped with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month leases, $650 acquisition fee, $30,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, 0 security deposit. Forte, $89.89, $848, MSRP $20,770, sold in $78.68.67, MSRP $20,880. Sorrento, NG $128,223, MSRP $31,980. Must finance through Kia plus tax Highland license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/5/22. Dealer stock only. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
There's an institution in East Memphis that I love talking about. It's the Spirit Shop at 4848 Poplar Avenue, right down the street from Clark Tower, and it looks like a log cabin. It's been around Memphis since 1969 with a family-owned, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff that is just a wonderful place to go. I love going in and talking wine or bourbons, and they've got such great selection. So if you've not visited the Spirit Shop in a while, it's been remodeled. You'll love what you see when you need spirits. Tell Eddie Wollo said hello.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Get them to sign on the line which is dotted.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Gonna put the world away for a minute. Pretend I don't live.
Show isn't over. Now that Golden State won last night, they'll go back to Boston Thursday for Game 6, and then if there is a Game 7, it will be back in San Francisco. They finally lost the game. Boston did, after having lost the previous game. They were, 7-0, I think it was, in the postseason, and 11-1 or 13-1 since January when they lost the game. They come back and win the next game. It didn't happen last night. It did not happen. They didn't get the standout performance they were hoping for from Jason Tatum. And the other players around him were okay, some better than others. Golden State did not get the huge performance from Steph Curry, got a solid game from Klay Thompson, but really got a great pick-me-up from Andrew Wiggins, who was absolutely sensational for his second straight game. Jordan Poole did contribute, and when Jordan Poole contributes to an already lethal offense, they're in pretty good shape. But really, Draymond Green, I thought, was a table setter early in that game. It was a physical game. The officials allowed them to play. So my question to our listeners out there and the question to you, is it over?
No, certainly not over. Boston, obviously going home for Game 6, and they've shown the ability to win on the road. It's always difficult to win a Game 7 on the road, so it'll be difficult. But, certainly they figured some things out in defending Steph Curry last night. Now they got to figure out something to defend Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins is such a great story, though. I mean, I feel good for Andrew Wiggins because I think, there was so much expected of him in Minnesota as the number 1 overall pick, which again, your number 1 overall pick, that's going to be obvious that there's going to be a lot expected of you. But people act like he was terrible in Minnesota. He wasn't terrible.
No.
He did it. I mean, the franchise has just been bad. It just didn't work. And there was so much pressure put on him. And he clearly isn't that guy. Now he got traded into a role that fits him extremely well. And the dude has been awesome in the playoffs. He's been their second best player throughout the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
He's been better than Clay. He's been better than Draymond. He's been their second best player. He's been great on the offensive end. He's rebounded like crazy, and he's been great defensively. He has been just absolutely outstanding, and I do feel good for him that he's kind of, when he made the All-Star team this year as the All-Star starter, he shouldn't have been an All-Star starter, let's be honest, but those fans vote everybody like crazy, and people were like, this is ridiculous, all this stuff, but he's shown now, he's like proved that this is, maybe he was worthy of an All-Star starting spot, because what he's done in the postseason has been fantastic.
No, you're absolutely right. I think because it didn't work out in Minnesota and he was the number 1 overall pick, people are trying to liken him to Anthony Bennett or something like that, or even a guy who wasn't taken first but was taken high, like Markelle Fultz, who is still trying to find his way in the NBA. No, it just wasn't the best fit in Minnesota. But you talk about a talented, ultra-talented player. I did not know he could rebound the basketball the way he has done the last few games. I mean, he's getting in there. He's sticking his nose in there. He's got good vertical. He's taking the ball hard to the hole and finishing. So that's another guy who's young that they have for the future. So if you think Golden State's going away anytime soon, they're not. And then you have the other young players that hopefully for their sake turn into really good NBA players, maybe even all-stars like Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody. And we'll see what happens if Wiseman can ever get on the court. They've done really well with the draft.
I mean, when they made that trade, there were people that were like, I ain't giving up D'Angelo Russell for Andrew Wiggins. Like,
right.
People want, and now, I mean, Russell's been fine in Minnesota, but with what Wiggins has done, they wouldn't be here if you put Russell in place of Wiggins. They're not here.
Yeah,
they're definitely not here. And they got a draft pick out of that deal too. But he's been just absolutely great. And last night, Gary Payton, the second, 15 points. That's the last thing you're expecting is for that dude to score. He was get 15 points for you. I mean, you look, Jordan Poole, who apparently is the master of the end of third quarter buzzer beater, that he's now had 2 in this series, and that one last night. I mean, that thing was, when they were that whole possession time, there's no way he could have got that off in time. It just felt like there was too much happening, and then they showed him like, yeah, he got rid of it in time. But he gets 14, Peyton gets 15. And basically the entire Boston bench, not counting the garbage time last minute points, they got 4 points. Derek White got 1 and Grant Williams got 3. I mean, they need, and White has been great.
Yes.
But last couple of games, they have controlled White. They need some scoring out of White. That's like Tatum, Brown, I don't know so much because Brown just is kind of like, but I thought Tatum looked extremely tired about midway through the fourth quarter. Like you could tell he had played the entire second half and he was out of gas. He needed a rest, I think, but I just don't think he could trust White at that time to put him in there, and he just felt like they had to keep going with Tatum and Brown to give themselves a chance.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier, 44 minutes for Tatum and 44 minutes for Brown?
And that was and Tatum's minutes he didn't play were the early first quarter because he came out. They took him out there in the first quarter, earlier than they normally did, and then that was it. Like he played the entire second half. That's an awful lot to ask for him, as much as you're asking him to do.
Yeah, and Robert Williams has been on a bad wheel. It was a knee or is it an ankle with Robert Williams? But
it's a knee.
It's a knee. Okay, and he's struggled at times. Other times he's looked good, but he's certainly less than 100%. I mean, the Al Horford you've gotten in some of these games is all-star Al Horford, and other games not so much. But if the bench is not going to contribute and Tatum's not going to go off for 40-something, they're probably not going to win the basketball game. And so you lose by 10 against, again, a Golden State Warriors team that did not get this unbelievable offensive effort from Steph Curry, who went 0 for 9 from 3 to break the streak. So for Game 6, we always talk about adjustments. Boston going home, that's the biggest adjustment, although they have played exceptionally well on the road. And Golden State just went up to Boston and beat them in game number 4. I was talking to a number of people yesterday at an event I was at, and they were like, I don't know what to think. I believe that most people are looking at this series and still coming out of it saying, I don't know, from game to game, I don't know what to expect. Now, I've gotten lucky. I've nailed these picks. I had Golden State going up there to win game 4, and I thought they would win game 5 and finally stop that streak of Boston winning after a previous loss. But game 6, I have no idea. I would not be surprised if Golden State wins it. I think I'll lean toward Boston forcing a game 7, but I wouldn't be surprised if Golden State went up to Boston and won the game. Who's the key for Boston? Is it Tatum? Is it Smart? I don't know. I don't know who the key is for that team. But, boy, they have to do a better job protecting the basketball, and that has been their Achilles heel all year long, and especially in the postseason. 18 turnovers resulted in 22 points for Golden State.
It's not going to change right now, because the guys who have the ball in their hands are all careless with the basketball.
They are.
I mean, it's like they're just Tatum, Brown, and Smart are careless with the basketball. Smart, it's more he tries some passes that you're like, why? That pass doesn't need to be made. Brown and Tatum just lose the Brown especially. He has the worst handles. The dude, sometimes you just wonder, why are you ever dribbling the basketball? Because he puts it on the floor around anybody, they can pick his pocket. Tatum, a lot of it is going to the basket, he'll get the ball swiped away, stuff like that. And they both will end up in the air, undecided what they want to do, and end up having to throw something away. But those guys, I mean, they're just, turnovers are going to be a part of what they do. Last night was bizarre, too, when they missed their first 12 threes, then they made 8 straight. And then after they started making them, then Golden State missed, 14 in a row? It was such a weird night. But for Golden State, the things that had killed them, Steph Curry, 16 points, 0 for 9 from 3. The third quarter, they actually dominate the third quarter. They win it by 11 points, and yet they still lose the game. So they switched 2 things around that had been killing them, and yet they still lose the game. And so last night was but I do think these last 2 games, the fourth quarter has been a lot about one team has a bunch of guys who have been there, done that, and the other team has a bunch of guys doing it for the first time.
And a young coach.
I mean, the fourth quarter in both of these last 2 games has been a complete meltdown by Boston. It's just been a meltdown. I mean, the game 4 had the lead under 5 minutes to go. You scored 3 more points in the final 5 minutes. Just complete panic sets in, everything else. Last night, start of the fourth quarter, it was like once that Poole 3 baked in that buzzer beater to end the third quarter to give them the lead, Boston was like in shock and didn't know what to do because the start of the fourth quarter, they were just awful, absolutely awful, and then the game got away from them again. These fourth quarters, I think a lot of it is just having not been there against a team who's been there a million times.
Look, it's been a pretty evenly played series, but you can make the argument that Boston has outplayed Golden State. Certainly at times they have, but then Boston just giving those turnovers back to Golden State, giving them those extra possessions have killed them. But certainly Grizzlies fans, my wife said it to me yesterday. I was shocked. She goes, does this, I forget how she phrased it, but she was referring to Golden State winning the game and now 1 win away from winning the championship, knowing that the Grizzlies had not only gone toe-to-toe with Golden State, but for the most part outplayed them, and unfortunately ran into injuries and suspensions and COVID issues and lost the series. So now people are going to be like, wow, if we were healthy, meaning the Grizzlies, and we were 100%, we would have beaten Golden State, then we would have beaten Dallas, then we would have beaten Boston. Now, you don't know if that would have happened.
No.
But there's always going to be that thought.
And I don't
There's
believe
always going to be that thought.
I don't believe they would have beat Boston if they got to the NBA Finals.
Right. I don't think they would have beaten Boston either. I think it's a bad matchup. They went 0 for 2, if I'm not mistaken, in the regular season. That doesn't always mean anything. But I think they probably would have lost to Boston as well. But still, I mean, you just what could have been if you were 100%.
The other thing that's been weird about this series to me is it feels like it's been a pretty good series. Like, games have it kind of feels like games have come down to the wire. There has not been a game decided by single digits yet.
No, which is the theme for the postseason pretty much.
But it doesn't feel that way. Like, it feels like this series has been pretty close.
Yes.
But in the end, every game has been a double-digit win.
Yeah, and we've had oddities where, Golden State's played so well in that third quarter, but Boston, on one occasion, maybe two, won games with big fourth quarters after having dismal third quarters. But we've had, somehow it's evened out where it was close going into the fourth quarter, or once you got into the fourth quarter, a comeback by Boston would make it close. But you're right. It hasn't really come down to the wire, a last-second shot, no single-digit games, no overtime games. But that's still a possibility as they get ready for Game 6 with a do-or-die, a must-win situation for the Celtics on Thursday. Well, folks, if you are looking for tickets for an event, I'm sure tickets for that game, which is probably going for lots of money, you can get the best deals at SeatGeek.com or by downloading the SeatGeek app, because SeatGeek is a search engine to find the best tickets for all the sporting events, comedy shows, music concerts, Broadway shows, whatever the case may be. What they do is they, in one spot, they bring all the tickets to whatever that event is you're looking for, so you can see them for yourselves, and SeatGeek has rated those tickets. So they're going to give you a number 0 through 10. They're going to light it up blue, red or green. Green means good, red means bad. It's that simple. If you see the green, it's a good deal. Take advantage of it. And if you see the red, don't. So they're doing all the work for you. It's that simple. Tickets to this fall, to the Grizzlies when they start their season, the Tigers starting their season, football, which will be right around the corner. Titans tickets if you want to go up and see the Titans in Nashville. But again, these are tickets anywhere for any event that you want to go and see. I've had friends of mine that have taken advantage of Cardinals tickets on SeatGeek.com, getting great deals. And again, you can do that as well. It's pretty simple. As far as concerts are coming up, I know the Backstreet Boys will be here in the fall at FedEx Forum. I think they just announced John Mulaney, who's a terrific comedian. He will be at FedEx Forum coming up, I think, in the fall as well. So you want to jump on that and get great tickets, download the SeatGeek app today or go to SeatGeek.com. You can get a $20 off your first purchase, $20 off by using promo code GASMAN. That's promo code GASMAN, $20 off your first SeatGeek order. SeatGeek, get your seat in a seat, download the app today. When we come back, a special honor for a special Memphian. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. Are you considering replacing your heating and air conditioning system this spring? Good news, it's Carrier Cool Cash Days at Conway Services. Receive up to a $1,550 instant rebate toward the purchase of select Carrier Infinity systems. If you happen to need 2 new systems, that'd be up to a $3,100 instant rebate. If that's not enough, we'll include an April air cleaner, a 10-year parts warranty, and a free Nest thermostat. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511.
Memphis' oldest restaurant, Coletti's, was established in 1923 to give Memphians the best Italian food possible. And after 99 years, I'd say they got it right. They are the creators of the barbecue pizza. It was Elvis's favorite, and I know for a fact that a large will feed one person all weekend. If you need to feed several, though, Coletti's caters any event. Choose from homemade lasagna, ravioli, Alfredo, primavera, and so many other delicious items you can't help but enjoy. Impress employees or clients and treat them to Coletti's for lunch or dinner. Plan ahead and get your holiday party booked at Coletti's. Elvis's favorite place to go eat with his buddies at the South Parkway location, and Coletti's even has an Elvis room dedicated to him. Call Coletti's on South Parkway at 948-7652 or Appling Road at 383-1122. Coletti's. It was Elvis's favorite, and it should be yours too.
Hey, Jeff Allen, I'm ready to get my Kia on. What's happening over on Mount Moriah at Gossett Kia South?
Hey, I know the car business is crazy right now, but we got them on the lot ready to ride. I've got a 2022 Kia Forte LXS $210 a month, 2022 Kia Soul LX $223 a month, both 36-month lease and $27.99 due at signing. Plus 2022 Kia Sorento LX $315, 36-month lease and $34.99 due at signing.
And Jeff, your Kias are always equipped with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia, Mount Moriah.
2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com. All 36-month leases, $650 acquisition fee, $30,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, 0 security deposit. Forte, $89.89, $848, MSRP $20,770, sold in $78.68.67, MSRP $20,880. Sorento, NG $128,223, MSRP $31,980. Must finance through Kia plus tax Highland license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/5/22. Dealer stock only. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
At Progressive, you can get 24/7 protection, even if you break the space-time continuum.
We did it! We time traveled to yesterday!
Wait, Progressive covers us 24/7, but we just created an 8-day week, and it's 24/7 coverage, not 24/8. We gotta go back.
Are you joking right now?
Shh, I'm calling them. Hi, I have a question about time travel.
Progressive offers more than a great price when you bundle home and auto. We offer round-the-clock protection, which literally means anytime. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers, and subject to policy terms. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Who's lightning?
Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
This hour is indeed brought to you by Acura of Memphis, located on Ridgeway at 385, online at AcuraofMemphis.com. All about great automobiles. That's what they are at Acura of Memphis. Go by, take a test drive, feel the Acura difference. Absolutely just a beautiful, beautiful collection of automobiles. New vehicles, of course, pre-owned vehicles, certified pre-owned Acuras. They've got it all for you to go take test drive and feel the Acura difference. And also the service that you get there from the great folks at Acura Memphis is second to none as well. You're going to just absolutely love the experience when you're buying a car at Acura Memphis, or maybe getting service done in a car. They'll take great care of you with their service department as well at Acura of Memphis. Again, online, AcuraMemphis.com, where you can get a lot of information, but nothing beats the service that you get in person when you go see them. Take that test drive and buy your vehicle at Acura of Memphis.
Story written by Jeff Calkins from the Daily Memphian about one of the great Memphians and our good friend, Elliot Perry, being honored tonight at the Museum of Modern Art in New York City. So he's written about that. Elliot Perry, you talk about a deserving man, has done so much for this community. He's into the arts and things of that nature. Well-cultured, a lot better than me as far as that's concerned, and really delightful just to talk to Elliot. Obviously, we talk a lot of Grizzlies with Elliot. He's on some of the radio calls with Eric Hasseltine as an analyst, and, of course, his importance to this city is immeasurable. But being honored tonight at the Museum of Modern Art.
Yeah, no, he's a big art collector, and he is one of the just kindest people, isn't he? You could just come in contact with.
He's a gem.
He's awesome. I love EP. It's great to see that he's being honored there. He deserves a lot of honor because that dude has done a lot and helps a lot of people. Just a great guy, and certainly very happy for him.
John Rothstein reporting that Gonzaga and Michigan State are in advanced discussions to play a neutral site game on an aircraft carrier in San Diego on Veterans Day, which will be November 11th. Michigan State and Gonzaga. That would be pretty cool. Haven't they done that before, though? Not those two schools, but I'm not sure who was involved before, but I remember that happening. It is official. Serena, according to ESPN, will play at Wimbledon as a wild card entry. So even though she at first wouldn't have been, well, obviously a past winner, I don't know how they work it as far as entries. I don't think she would have been denied, but I'm not sure if she would have been seeded because of her lack of activity here over the last couple of years. But I thought maybe she was done. She's going to come back. She's going to try to win another Wimbledon. She's going to try to catch Margaret Court. So good for Serena Williams. Will be playing at Wimbledon next month. If you missed it, 5 favorite things. Tomorrow's topic, your 5 favorite rock bands. Your 5 favorite rock bands. Now, what you may consider rock, somebody may consider that it's not rock. It's kind of like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Here's a good one.
Now, that's a good one. But the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, if you think about it, has the greatest musical acts and artists. But some of them you would go, that's not a rock and roller. Well, for the sake of this,
going in this year.
Yeah, for the sake of this, they're all rock and rollers. As long as it's a band. We're not talking about a solo performance.
Well, no, they need to be rock. Like,
no, I know. I'm just
a country band doesn't qualify as a rock band.
I'm kidding. I'm just saying it's interesting how they do that, and they allow all these other people into what is deemed the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But no, for our purposes, we're talking about rock bands. But again, some may be soft rock, some may be yacht rock, some may be hard rock and metal. But we're going to do that tomorrow. Clay Presley is going to join us. He's involved and runs the NIL 901 Fund for the University of Memphis. We'll find out more about that. Brad Logan will join us to preview the College Baseball World Series and talk about the Ole Miss Rebels' run to get in. To Michael Cole at 9:05 on the Memphis Grizzlies. And by the time tomorrow comes along, 8 days and counting until the NBA draft. Big thanks to Steve Sands, to Mike Bianco, and to Connor O'Gara for joining us on the program today. Waldo and Friends on Sports 56 is next. For Eli Savoy and Zach Boyd, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great day, everybody.